hello. Wow, I sounded like Kirioth there from Kirioth TV. Didn't mean to do that. Hey everyone, it's Fox from Model Making Guru here. Now, I hope you can all hear me okay, because I've had some audio issues getting everything set up. So, can you just tell me, are you able to hear me okay? Am I really, really quiet? Really, really loud? Am I clipping? Am I bursting through your ears like a spear fired from a spear cannon? I don't know what that is. Or am I, like, really whispery and quiet? So let me know. I need to know. So, how is everyone? I shall wait for your feedback on the audio. Smooth says, eh? What? Pardon? So let me know if it sounds alright. Let me have a look. Welcome, welcome. I shall wait till you tell me before I go any further, because I don't want to start a million things and then realise that none of you can hear me. No audio. Come on. Come on, George. We can hear you instantly. Hi, Andy. Okay, so George and Smooth say no audio. It's fine, says Rinks. Loud and clear. Right, cool. Brilliant. Right, let me shut up and we'll carry on. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Warhammer Sunday. Now, if you've seen one of these before, I get all my blurb out the way first. So apologies if you've seen one of these before. You're going to see the blurb again. But yes, this is Warhammer Sunday. What I tend to do is during the week, I do my proper grown-up work, my model making stuff, and then at the weekends I do my Warhammery us. Dang, he sussed us, says Smooth. Yes. At the weekend I do my Warhammery stuff, although lately I've been doing lots of Warhammery stuff during the week for various reasons. But the weekend I do my Warhammer stuff, and then on a Sunday I do my little 3-hour live stream or so. Just, I thought you guys might, wow, I can't talk. I need to get coffee, hang on. Camera's close up today. Look at the size of that coffee. Look at the size of that coffee. Yes. Oh. Yeah, at the weekend I'll do my stuff, and on the Sunday spend 2 or 3 hours with you guys hanging out, working on my bits. I'm just hanging out with you guys in the chat. I figured you may as well have a good time in the chat while I'm streaming away, and I'll witter on for 3 hours non-stop, and you guys can just have me in the background. So yes, every Sunday, 3 PM, Warhammer Sunday, I'll just work on my army. As always, I depend on you guys in the chat to give me things to talk about. If you watch the E-Models live streams, it's the same kind of format. I need you to give me stuff to talk about, and you guys look after yourself in chat. So if you can see the chat, you can see the chat on the screen here. Enormous finger. There's a screen on the chat there. Yeah, I'm going to knock the camera in. You can ask questions. You can take part in the chat. I will be giving sticker giveaways and stuff later on, so you need to be in the chat to join in. If you'd like to ask me a question, please do. Or, anything. Can be about anything. Doesn't have to be about model making or Warhammer. It can be about pencils, plants, air, bees, anything you want. Just ask me a question. Just put it in big fat capital letters in the chat, so I can have a chance of not actually missing it, because the chat's over there and I'm super chat, so I know you've made a comment, so I can't possibly miss your comment. Now, as ever, what we'll be doing today, as ever, if you've not seen one of these before, there's stuff on my desk. What's this nonsense here? I've got some kind of schmutz on my desk. Let me clean this off before we go anywhere. As always, a couple of things we'll be doing this week. We will be doing sticker giveaways. I'll have some Model Making Guru stickers to give away. Now, some bad news. So I'm just cleaning my desk that you can't see. Some bad news. We're not going to have a wheel of giveaways today. I know. I'm actually going to put the wheel of giveaways on hold just for a few weeks. It's not going away forever. It's purely because of things like my car's MOT and tax insurance all happening at the same time in the last week or two. I'm kind of on my arse at the minute. So, and it costs a lot of money to send your prizes out. So I've got some prizes waiting to go out. All the ones that are waiting to go, the stickers and the prizes. I'm waiting to Patreon payday. As soon as I've got paid through there, they'll all be going out en masse. But it costs me a lot of money to send those out, and I've got quite a few to send. So just for the next few weeks, I'm going to just put the wheel of giveaways on hold, just to give me a chance to catch up, so that as soon as I'm back on my feet again, we can start doing the send-outs and the giveaways. So it's not gone away permanently. It's just for the next few weeks to give me a chance to catch up, because my car's MOT and everything has just kind of ripped through my bank account, and it's all gone wrong, and I've got all kinds of brake repairs and things to do, and all the tax insurance at the same time. So it's all gone a bit pear-shaped. So just for the next few weeks, we're still going to do sticker giveaways, but not the wheel of giveaways. And it isn't gone away permanently. I've still got a big stash of stuff to give away. It's just for the next few weeks. So apologies, but stay tuned. Anyway, right. So, what is the thing that's going on? Well, we're going to crack on with my Adeptus Mechanicus. I can never remember that phrase. Adeptus Mechanicus. I just need to put the finishing touches on these guys. which is really just tarting up the bases and a little bit of weathering on them. As you can see, they're all kind of mostly painted up now. Now, if you notice in the top right hand corner, as always, we're doing the stream boss battle. I'll stop saying in a minute. We're doing the stream boss battle, which is the little coloured bars up here. Aviad Madar is our current... I don't know where the camera is. I've zoomed in quite a lot. I don't know where it is now. Aviad Madar is our current stream boss. He's down to 81,174. This is the stream boss battle where you can win 200 to 300 quid's worth of Warhammer gear. All you need to do is get his health down. Now, he's at 81,000 health at the moment. To get his health down, you can do a super chat, which is the dollar symbol in the bottom of the chat. Every time somebody does a super chat, it takes a bit of his health off. You can just subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell if you're not already subscribed. That will take a little bit of his health off. And no, you can't unsubscribe and resubscribe it now, is that it can spot that. It doesn't work. So you can subscribe, or if you want to, you can do a tip through the tip jar, which is down here. It's streamlabs.com/model making guru. It's just a one-off tip you can do. Pop a tip through, and a tip that goes through, that will take some of Aviad's health off as well. Now, the more you put through as a tip, or the more you put through as a super chat, the more health it will take off. So $1 will take off so much, $5 will take off much more, and so on and so on. So you can tip and super chat as much as you like, or as little as you like. The more you take off, the more his health goes down. Whoever gets him to 0, whoever gets him down to 0 health, they become the new stream boss, and they win 200 to 300 quid's worth of Warhammer gear, or anything else, but depends what you want, of their choice. Now, what happens is the money you raise through super chats and the tip jar all goes into a big pot, and then that's what's used to value your prize. So it's in it for everybody. Everybody can have a go at this. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. Aviad's in Israel, and he won last time, and he got himself a whole mess of Warhammer stuff. It's really sweet. He got about 280 quid's worth of gear. So it's ongoing. It takes weeks and weeks to do, but it's just there so you know it. So make sure to, make sure to tip, make sure to do your super chats, and make sure to subscribe. Right, so what are we doing anyway? I'll have a quick look at the chat, and then I'll get on with some work. Now, we've got a whole mess of people who came in really early, so I'll whiz through really quickly. Wow, there's a lot of chat there. We have Mickle Pickle was the first in. Ooh, I'm first. Did I win solid gold? Yes. Andy McLeish is in. Ghost Lyles, that's Pineapple, of course. JS Idaho, good morning day, everyone. Oh, don't worry, by the way, we will be picking the winner from last week's Wheel of Giveaways. I know we're not doing a new one, but I will pick the winner who won the big French tank. So don't worry, that's gonna be done today. We have JS Idaho is in. Lots of comments at the start. Random stuff. Who else have we got? Let's have a look. Lots of Andy McLeish and JS Idaho talking away, and Mickle Pickle. Build Rat models. So I've come to the conclusion that there are only a couple of hundred models in the whole world. We just meet at different places on different days, says Build Rat models. Yes, commenting on the fact that everybody in the chat knows everybody from all the other chats that everybody goes to. Every time I go to a streamer, like a streamer I've never been to a live show before, I was in one of Zach Aurelius' streams once, and there's half the people in the chat. I'm like, oh, hello, what are you doing here? It's quite good. You meet all the same people. Spiddy Curator's in. Welcome, Spid. Rinks Near is in. Somebody mentions the fact that the swooshy fluid pattern on my waiting screen looks just like when I spilled my Agrax Earthshade. Yeah, I spilled my Agrax Earthshade. I was not happy. Big brown stain on my scruffy cutting mat. That's why I have a scruffy cutting mat. James Lorimore is in. Welcome, James. James found a Hobbytown USA an hour away from him. He didn't want to leave. William Rayborn is in. Welcome, dude. Who else do we have? Scale Model Muse is in. Welcome, Mrs. Vamp. I assume then the Scale Model Vamp is in here somewhere. George Gabriel, good morning, crew. Welcome, George. A nice new name. I like that. I'm going to have to get used to that. William Rayborn is in. Scale Model, I've done those two already. People are talking about their K coffee. I don't know what K coffee is, but everybody's going. Somebody mentioned K coffee, and then somebody else went, ew, and there's lots of comments about bad coffee. Smoo is in. Welcome, dude. Hello, and welcome to you. Wayne Haywood, Tyrone Key, Andy McLeish, we've done already. Who else do we have? Not seen Scale Model Vamp yet. Maybe he's still asleep. Everybody's saying the audio is fine. Stephen Dooley. Welcome, welcome into Zone 88. Welcome, dude. Chris from Gross Models is in. He's a setup as a mod, so he'll be looking after you. Not that you guys need modding, you can look after yourselves. Good morning, Fox. Thanks for the stickers. And did you receive my email? Says JS Idaho. I probably did. I'd have to look. I can't tell you straight off the top of my head. Probably. If you sent it to, where's the camera? Foxx@modelmakingguru.com, which is that email address there, then I probably did. Jonathan T is in. Welcome, Jonathan. See, I just say Jonathan T now. It just saves me a lot of embarrassment. Redline08 is in. Dude. I like the colour of the green dudes, but the one with the huge gun is the funniest. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have a look at him in a minute. What else have we got going on? Where's Vamp? He's probably in bed in South Africa. It's probably like silly o'clock in the morning or the night or something. Right, everybody's talking about like K coffee. It's a sort of like a Keurig is K coffee, like a Tassimo sort of machine popular. Oh god, they're horrible. When you get like a pod and you put it in and it. Ew, no, it's not. That's not coffee. Ugh. I agree, they're horrible. Just if you're gonna go that instant, just get yourself some instant coffee. Get yourself some Dab Egberts. I mean, this is where Spid is spinning round in his grave now, even though he's alive. Hey. I do like the real coffee, obviously, because Spid got me into that. But I do also, for the sake of ease, like instant coffee, but only Dab Egberts Gold. It's the only one. It's the only one. Rinks Near has painted his first Space Marine, but it lacks detail and highlights. It's all to come. Gotta take your baby steps. Smooth says he's not sure he can look after himself without adult supervision. Yep, word. No, you can't, Terry, says Scale Model Muse. Question, what are the humans in Warhammer 40k called? Humans. There you go. The humans. There's lots of different factions, but they're just humans. You've got the Imperium of Man, which is all the human races, and a few Xenos races, but not many. And then you've got all the Xenos or alien races that are all the ones fighting against the Imperium of Man. These are sort of humans. These are Adeptus Mechanicus, these are the guys from Mars, and they're kind of cyborgs. They've kind of enhanced themselves with machinery, so they're part machine, part whatever's left of the human. So they're kind of allies with the Imperium of Man. Davey UK, hello Fox and everyone, welcome Davey UK. No, they're called cannon fodder. The rank and file basic humans who just get a las gun and a bit of cardboard armour are the Imperial Guard or the Astra Militarum. They are the cannon fodder. They get a laser rifle, which is basically called a flashlight, and really crappy armour, which is called cardboard armour. And they're just the things that you throw in their hundreds of millions at the enemy, just in swarms of numbers, just to swamp the enemy. They're the real basic minion humans. Then you get the sort of spec ops, who are the Tempestus Scions, or the Militarum Tempestus. They're same, they're just normal humans, but they have better armour and better weapons and better equipment. And then you go all the way up to your Space Marines, who are super soldiers or special things like that. But there's lots of other ones. But these are Martian dudes. Right. What is it here? What is a good 0.2mm airbrush, says George Gabriel. I've not actually got a 2.2 airbrush. I've got my 0.35 Neo, but basically just stick to the same brands that do the good bigger airbrushes. Iwata do some excellent brushes. Badger do some really good brushes. You're in the US, so Badger probably might be more accessible and easily gettable than Iwata. You've got, if you want to spend money, you've got your Harder and Steenbeck. They are some awesome brushes, but they're very expensive. They're top of the range. There are also Pash do some, P-A-A-S-H. Sorry, P-A-A-S-C-H-E, I think. They do some excellent one. Again, they're kind of top of the range. But things like your Badgers, your Iwatas, lots of different brushes in those ranges. And most of them will have different sets. So you can get different sized nozzles. So you don't need to get necessarily one brush for 0.2 and one for 0.5 and one for 0.3. You can get different nozzle and head unit sets. Like on my Neo, which is that one. Which is, every time I move that now, it's going to wobble the camera. This thing here is a 0.35. I have got the 0.5 set, so I can take off the crown cap, the crown, the nozzle and the head unit here and replace it with all 0.5 parts, and that gives me a 0.5 nozzle for spraying big things. The only thing is I've not been able to get it to do it in a constant flow of air, because for some reason it gives it spluttery air. I don't know, my compressor perhaps. It's a bit weird like that. But yeah, any of the sort of the known brands. Stick to your Badgers, your Iwatas, Spraycraft and Sparmax. They're two. Sparmax and Spraycraft, I think, are the same thing. Well, they might not be. They're basically made in the same factory as Iwata with the same parts, so they're just as good as. You start from budget and work your way up. Harder and Steenbeck, though, is the best. Tony Blackwell says H&S is brilliant. Harder and Steenbeck. Any name brand is good. Don't bother with 2mm unless you need to be close to fine detail. 0.3 or 3.5 will do pretty much everything, says Speedy Q8. Tend to agree. 0.2 is like, unless you're painting something really, really tiny, you don't need to go that small. You can get quite close. I mean, the closest tiny detail I ever paint is like for panel lining, for pre-shading, where I might, you know, go down the panel lines and things with a dark colour and then paint over it. But that you can do that with a 0.3. It doesn't need to be neat. If you're doing very complex camouflage schemes like on tanks and stuff and you want thin wispy lines, then yeah, you might be able to, you might benefit from a 0.2, but you're not going to paint much with the 0.2 other than really tiny things, at which point quite often you're brush painting anyway. So you might find 0.3, 0.35 is a bit better because you can't do much and you have to thin your paints quite a bit. Adam Clark says the hardware in Steenbeck Ultra I find is okay, and as a starter it's not massively expensive. Cool. H&S are worth the money for the simplicity to use, especially for cleaning, says Tony Blackwell. Yeah, they are. They can be expensive, but they are. Some of them have just like pop-out nozzles. You don't have all the fanciness, and you just go, there you go, change the nozzle. There you go, done. Cleaning's perfect. Smooth Workshop says, has anyone seen the video of a guy respraying a rear quarter panel of his car using his lungs as a compressor? Yeah, he just kind of blows it out with a straw and through a thing. It's like, it's a way of doing it. It probably looks terrible when it's finished, if I remember rightly. If you got close to it, it'd probably look awful. But yeah, you can spray that way. It works. Just don't inhale. Don't swallow. That would go wrong. Tony Blackwell says hello to everybody after making a few comments. It's Las Gun, says Ghost Lyle, not Las Gun. Well, it's laser. So laser gun, Las Gun, I don't know. Las Gun. Flashlight. There you go. Don't forget about Chaos, says Tyrone Key. Yes, Chaos are some of the... going back to who are the humans and stuff, you've got the humans, you've got all the Xenos races like Orcs, Tau, the Necrons and all the others, the Eldar and things like that. But then you've also got Chaos, who are like... How do you explain Chaos to somebody who doesn't know Chaos? Imagine like a parallel universe of all evil and nastiness and horrible, where all the evil comes from. It's hard to explain. Look it up. Yeah, I can't explain it. No easy way to explain Chaos. Bad guys, evil, demon spawn, that kind of stuff. Comes from the warp, which they use for it. Yeah, there's a half an hour podcast in itself, so let's just not go there. Bad guys. They're all bad guys. It's an overpowered torch, says Andy McLeish of The Last Gun. Yes. Right, I've got the sniffly nose as always, so let me get some tissue. Ooh, and we should probably do some work. So, why does Fox keep saying fleshlight? Flashlight, you fool. Ugh, torch. Got a sniffly nose. Do we all know that laser is an acronym and what it stands for, which is why it's laser, L-A-S, and not laser, L-A-Z? Yes, anybody that types laser, L-A-Z-E-R, they get banned. Not right now, because obviously you're all going to type it now, but anyone that types laser, L-A-Z-E-R, I get really angry because it's an acronym. You can't spell it wrong because each letter means something. I can't remember what it stands for. Some light amplification, something rectification. I can't remember. Look it up. There you go. It's something. I know it's light amplified. I can't remember. It's an acronym. It means something. So don't spell laser with a Z, or I will come round and slap you with a wet fish. Oh, makes me angry. Makes me angry. Right. Ghost Lyle says Necrons used to be humans till they goofed up. I thought Necrons were pre-human, so like a sentient race and who transferred themselves to machines, but pre-human. I thought they were pre-human. Faisal is in. Welcome, Faisal. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Right. So don't forget, of course. I've just forgotten. Oh yeah. Don't forget. Forgotten. Don't forget, of course, for the sticker giveaways later on, I'll be doing question and answers. I have had some through the emails, but if you'd like to send me a question and answer, please do feel free. I'll just wake my keyboard up. Please do feel free. If I use your question and answer, I'll send you a sticker by default. If you'd like to send me a question and answer to use in the sticker giveaways, just send it to fox@modelmakingguru.com, email address there, and just include your question, the answer, and you know who I'm talking to now, and your name and address. I need your name and address so that I don't have to then mail you and ask you what your name and address is. If I get just the question answer, I might use it, but I'm not going to send you a sticker because I spend all my time mailing people saying, thanks, what's your name and address? So just include your name and address. If you don't want a sticker, you can just say, don't send me a sticker, I don't need one. But yes, feel free. And if I use your question, I will send you a sticker. Right, so let's do some work, shall we? Now, you can see here, I've got my, I keep forgetting what they're called, Adeptus Mechanicus AdMech. And they're basically humans who have cyborged themselves up to ridiculous levels. And we have, let's go through, we have, I can't remember all the different ranks now. We've obviously got the tech priest, who is this beautiful, beautiful, like, horribly destroyed figure, who's all mechanical now, and he's all tubes and pipes and all kinds of shenanigans going on. And he's all painted up. These are all pretty much finished now, apart from the last few bits and bobs. But he's an absolute funky little figure. He's just beautifully sculpted. I love painting this, because it wasn't actually that hard. It's mostly just lead belcher and an all-noir wash, some gold, some agrax that I didn't spill on the floor, and some bits and bobs. Just metallic shades, really. It's not really that hard. The fleshy arm there, the one pointing arm that he's got left, that was simply, it was painted with the ceramite white base colour. So just painted ceramite white, and then it was given a little wash of a shade, and it's the pink shade that I can't remember the name of. Brilliant, Fox, well done. Caribou Crimson. I thinned it down a little bit with some lime medium and just washed it over the hand, and it just settled in the recesses a bit, made it go a little pinky and darker pinky in the recesses, and then give it a quick sort of brush over it with the ceramite white again, just over the highlight areas, over the raised parts, and it just gives it that kind of slight, it won't come out on camera, but it's a slightly pink look. It's kind of pallid, yet with a hint of pink here and there, just to give it that look. And yes, I love painting that. Now, if you're wondering about this, I'll get a pointy stick. If you're wondering about the glowy blue plasma effects here and here, I didn't do the usual Games Workshop method. I did the same thing on some of the plasma weapons as well. I've got the same thing on his gun there. I've got the same thing on that one. Now, I didn't do the usual method. The usual method is to paint it blue and then add white over the top in very thin layers and do a bit of dry brushing and things like that and get all funky with it. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I did it the other way around. What I did was I painted the whole area ceramite white. Again, it's a base paint, so it's dead thick. Excuse me. Painted it ceramite white completely. A couple of coats. Excuse me. And then I got myself some, I've not got the paints out, have I? I got myself some Gulliman Blue, which is a glaze, and I got myself some Lamian Medium, which again is a basically it's a paint, I can't get my words out. It's a shade without any pigment in it, so it's a colourless shade. I got 4 brushfuls of that to 1 brushful of Gulliman Blue. I didn't do it on the wet palette. It's the wet palette, you can't use it on a wet palette. You've got to use it on a bit of paper, a bit of card. Made a little puddle of it, and I just brushed it over once, completely. Let it dry for a minute. Brushed it over again, gave it a second coat, let it dry. And then what I did was, for the third coat, I added an extra brushful of Gulliman Blue to the mix to darken it even more, and brushed it over again. And then the last one, I did an extra brushful again. So I've now got 4 brushfuls of this, 4 brushfuls of that. It's a 50-50 mix. And just then brushed it towards the ends. On these things, I brushed it towards the bottom, so it was darker blue on the bottom. And that was it. It took me all of 5 minutes. And same on this thing here. It was painted ceramite white. And then I just got a big dolloping brushful of the mix that I'd made, the Gulliman Blue and the Lamian Medium, and just blumped it in there. I didn't go careful, I just went splob with the whole brushful, flump in there. It looked like it pooled to the edges, and as it dried out, it went to the edges and was thinner and more transparent in the middle, where you get the white bit, and darker around the edges where it looks blue. So instead of shading and dry brushing and fading and blending, you can just use washes, effectively, or glazes, and use the property of the surface tension and the gravity to hang up to the edges and fill that way, and you just get a really nice effect. So it's a quick and lazy way of doing it, but it works brilliantly. What else have we got? We got a couple of guys with their plasma weapons. Same principles on those. I don't know if the plasma is in the 40-watt range. I don't know. Let me show you my tool. But yeah, we've got these beautiful little figures. They're all full of tiny, tiny details. Now, I've not done the standard AdMech colour scheme. As you can see, they've got green outfits. It's like some kind of, that's like some kind of like Charlie's Angels thing, isn't it? Imagine there's like a poster and there's just 2 guys there posing Charlie's Angels style. Da, 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 da. They were cops on their last day before retirement. So yeah, we've got 2 guys there. They're not red. The Martian colour scheme is always red. However, in the fluff, it does say that these guys can associate themselves with other planets and kind of station themselves elsewhere. And what they tend to do is sometimes adopt different colour schemes depending on where they are. So remember, my army, the unending forces of the Holy Contrivance, is based on the Principality of Zeon from the Mobile Suit Gundam universe. So they've associated themselves with the guys, with the Principality of Zeon. They've adopted a green colour scheme to match things like the Zaku's, similar colours, but of course they do have a touch of red on some of the tubing and piping. Him there. There's always a little hint to Mars, so there's a little tiny touch of red on his sleeve there, you can see. Where's the camera? Little touch of red on his sleeve there, and a little touch of red on some of those tubes and pipes, just as a little hint. And on the Tech Priest, he's got a little red bit round the edge of his hood, just as a little nod of the head to their Martian origins. So a nice green colour scheme for those guys. And of course, what Terry mentioned, yeah, that is awesome. That is just, it's an arquebus. It's a something or other. What is it called now? It's called a something or other arquebus. It's just insane. I love that. It's like the world's biggest sniper rifle. So big it's got a stand. It's not got legs. It's got a stand. So you can stand up, but use it's the world's biggest. It's not transuranic arquebus. That's what it's called. Transuranic arquebus. I've no idea what any of that means, but that is just absolutely fantastic. I love that. Now the beauty of these figures, and the thing I love about them, is all this sort of gold filigree. They've got gold filigree all over these rifles. If you look at one of the regular troops, it kind of has like an M1 Garand look to it. It's got the wooden parts of the stock here and the little metal bits at the front, at the muzzle, and the little bit there where the breech is and stuff. But they've got a sort of barrel thing here, because I'm assuming they're energy weapons. But they've just got this kind of M1 Garand cross with a M1A1. M1A1? No, what was the next one? The carbine. M1 carbine, kind of mixed together with the wooden parts of the stock. But yeah, the gold filigree is great. It just makes it look fantastic. But that is so insane. That is just insane, the detail. But yeah, the detail on these guys is also fantastic. You've got a little bit of filigree on their armour. I've done their face masks in gold. On this guy, you can't really see on camera, but I'll see if I can zoom in for you. Hang on. Let me wobble the camera. Every time I go near my computer, it's going to wobble like hell, by the way. Let's have a look, see if I can. That's focus, you spoon. Fox, you idiot. Get the focus right. Zoom in. There we go. Because he's a sniper, I decided to give him one blue eye and one red eye. The red eye being the scopy eye for the sniperiness, and the blue eye being his regular eye. So there we go. A transuranic arquebus, which is a great name for a weapon, I have to say. It looks fantastic, and I love that. I love that to bits. So that's all those dudes done. I didn't film any of that, because this was just a getting them done thing in my spare time. So before we crack on, let me have a quick look at the chat and see what everybody's saying. Let's have a look. Somebody came in, that was Tony. Let's have a look. We're talking about rabbits now for some reason. Oh, Fox and his brain fart, says Nim. Oh, hey, Nim. Nim's in. Aviad Madar is in. Welcome. Our stream boss is with us. By the way, guys, you know I was saying about how you can take your Aviad's health down on the stream boss by doing super chats and things like that, and tips. Don't forget, of course, Aviad can mess with your chi. He can actually get his health. He can add to his health. If Aviad puts a tip through or a super chat, he can put his health back a certain number of points. So every time you do a tip or a super chat, it takes so much health off. Every time he does one, it puts health back on. I don't think he will, but he could really mess with you and put health back. So keep that in mind. You might have to take him outside and beat him up if he does it. Let's have a look, see what we're doing in chat. Catch you later, Fox says Smooth. Going to try and get to the spray booth today. Go for it, dude. Have fun spraying. Have fun with your sprayage. And Faisal is, as somebody asked, what is everyone, I think Spid asked what's everyone up to. Faisal Shastari is up to playing Destiny 2. Oh yeah. I keep meaning to do a live stream thing with Chris and Paul, but I keep not getting around to it. I plan to fight the Minotaur in the middle of the labyrinth that is my local IKEA, says George Gabriel. By Minotaur, do you mean get to the bit where they sell the hot dogs and meatballs? Now I want IKEA hot dogs. The unit of troops are called the Skitari Rangers. Yes, I knew that. I just didn't mention that. These are, I've built them as Rangers, not Vanguard. I built them as Skitari Rangers, just because they're awesome. Now, these were ones very kindly sent to me. Was it Jerry? I do apologise. I think it was Jerry that sent me the armiger. If it wasn't you, Jerry, I know somebody sent me. I'm sure it was, because it was in bright yellow tape. Sent me the armiger. And also sent me all these dudes as well. So thank you very much. Yes, the Skitarii Rangers. I built them as Rangers, not Vanguard. Redland says, just posted a pic of what he's been making for the last few weeks on the Boom Hut. Yeah, make sure you remember the Boom Hut. Facebook.com/groups/model Boom Hut. Moved all them down there for. Out of shot. Okay, Fox. Email sent to your new address. Thanks again. No worries. Andy McLeish has sent me an email. Cool. The long rifle looks like the German Gewehr from World War One. Yes, they do have a certain Teutonic look to them. I've also got a unit of Deathcore Krieg, and they definitely look German. Transuranic means anything in the periodic table after uranium. So this is a post-uranium... Oh, hello. What was that? Aviad Madar. Oh, Aviad Madar's done a... What did he do? He did a super chat. Aviad Madar did a super chat. You'll see it pop up. He's done a $5 super chat. He's just put some health back on himself. Yeah, you see. Oh. Was that a super chat or was that a tip? Oh, it was a tip. I do apologise. It was a tip. He's put a $5 tip through. He's given himself some health back. He's fighting with you. He's fighting with you. He's not going to go down without a fight. Multi-Demon says, hello people, what's cracking? Hey dude, welcome to the stream. I'm going to do some work in a minute when I stop talking. Andy McLeish says, fracking internet back now. I'm getting lots of emails coming through. Ooh. Tyrone Key has just become a patron. Thank you very much, Tyrone. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. If you'd like to support, by the way, I forgot to mention it, but you all know anyway. But if you would like to support this channel, when my computer will stop being weird, hang on. What's my computer doing? Wibbly wobbly camera. If you'd like to help support this channel, keep it going, you can of course become a patron, support it on patreon.com/modelmakingguru. All your support is gratefully acknowledged. Jamie Bone says, I have a spare Warhammer 40k Conquest magazine issue 3 if anyone wants it. Oh yeah, issue 3 is already out of stores. Issue 4 is in stores now. Oh, some news. You probably know this already, but I have actually... Oh, hello. What was that? Oh, yeah. Takes a little while to come through from Patreon, but thank you very much, Tyrone. It's very kind of you. I got the notification by email before I got the notification on the stream. I've got here the figures from parts 1, 2 and 3 of the Warhammer Conquest. Now, due to the very massive kindness of my good friend and follower and patron George, I am now able to subscribe to the Warhammer Conquest thing. I've subscribed to the premium package. So the first 3 issues I've bought myself. These are my little dues. And then from issue 4 onwards, that'll be my first delivery. I'm going to have the whole thing, all premium issues. So I've actually started, and I've uploaded today, but it's not live yet. I've uploaded and started a build series for the whole Warhammer Conquest thing. And what I'm going to do is go through each issue, one by one, for each month. So 1 episode a month, doing all 4 issues from... I keep saying issue and episode and getting them mixed up. I'll get 4 magazines a month, and each month I'll do all the buildy and painty from each of those 4 issues for that month. So 1 episode a month. I really keep getting episode and issue mixed up. 1 episode a month where we'll go through all the 4 magazines from that month. Now, it's not going to be anything to do with the gaming, just the building. So I've got a couple of episodes done that are just looking at explaining what's going to happen, and the first one's looking at building and priming. Ooh, Tony Blackwell, it would probably be cheaper to become a Patreon. You probably would. Oh, thank you very much, Tony. You're very, very kind, but you wouldn't get the health down that way. You wouldn't have a chance of winning. Where was I? Yes, so got 1 episode up which explains what's going to happen. The second episode is going to be, or is, a quick look at things that you might be missing that you might need to get. The second one is talking about priming and building, and the third one will be when I get issue 4. The first 4 issues will get them all built and painted up. It's not going to look at the gaming, just the painting. And I'm going to paint them as according to the magazine, so I'm afraid they're going to be Ultramarines. Ultramarines. But I will do some extra stuff on top outside of what they say in the magazine. So hopefully that'll go on for another 1.5 years. So thank you, big thank you to George, who's made it possible for me to subscribe to that whole package. And we'll see where that goes. Let's have a look. Jamie Bone, George Gabriel has said, I think George has said he'll take it. So Jim Bone says, yep. If you ask Foxx to send you my email address, I can send it to you. That's going to get confusing. Okay, George Gabriel, if you ask Foxx to send you my email address, I can send it to you. Yeah. Just in case I haven't got any emails in my inbox from you, Jamie, just send me an email with your email address. So I've got your email address, and then George, if you want to mail me, I can give you Jamie's email address. Or you could just have a message on Facebook and just do a message on Facebook to each other and somehow. But if you need to, yes, both of you send me an email and I'll cross-pollinate your email addresses. Earl D is in, afternoon, finished work and just rushed back. Welcome, welcome. Chris says, yes, I await episode 7. I actually say in the first episode there will be more than 6 episodes because there's like 20 months. So, yes, I even say that to Paul. The Foxx Walkers in issue 4 are great, says Spid. Not got those yet. Adam Clark says, look forward to building along with you. Yeah, so it's going to be really good. It's going to take, like I say, 2 years to do the whole thing, but I'm really glad I can do it now. And like I say, I will just do whatever. I'll basically follow what happens in the magazine, but I will do my own little twist on things as well. Like some weathering techniques they probably won't even mention. I do go through some things they don't, and I do explain things like primer. So for all you guys, you know what you're doing. You probably won't get much out of it because it's going to be a real beginner level thing. I'm going to be doing all the real simple procedures and sort of starter stuff. But for anybody who's new to it, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Oh, hello. Ooh, Tyrone, thank you very much. Again, more patrons, more Patreonage. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Welcome to Patreon. Wow. More coffee. Hang on. Enormous coffee top. Look at the size of that. I've done no work today. David Bosch says, no Space Wolves, Foxx. I thought about it, but the figures that come in the magazines are just generic Space Marines. They've not got all the extra bits for Space Wolves. And I don't really want to go out and buy like 40 Space Wolf upgrade kits. So I'm just going to keep them dead simple, because I don't know exactly what's going to be, what weathering and painting they're going to do in there. And I don't want to get too far off what's in the magazines, because I'm aiming it at the absolute beginner. So if I start painting them all different colours with different colour schemes, it might confuse the beginner. I might go off and use all the other paints that somebody who's just got a pot of Macragge Blue might not have. So I'm just going to stick to the paints and stuff they give you in the magazines. Although when I do some of my own stuff, I might do as like little advanced bits. Hey, how about doing some other bits that you've never thought of before, or they don't put in the magazine? So I'll keep them as Ultramarines. I know I find Ultramarines really boring because they're just kind of the vanilla Space Marine. The other thing, of course, is there's so many chapters. I do say there's loads and loads of chapters, but it's really great. You can paint them as whatever chapter you want, but good luck finding decals for anything other than Space Wolves and Ultramarines. Maybe you should start a separate channel so people getting the magazines can join in. It wouldn't be monetized. Yeah, I need to keep it on this channel. LD, finally got my Primaris Captain in gravy armour done. Just posted on the hut. I'm guessing you don't mean gravy. Or you might mean gravy armour. Is it the Gravis armour? Cool, I'll go and have a look at that. Right, what are we doing today? I'll do some work today. What are we doing today? Well, these guys are almost just about finished. These Admech, these Skitarii Rangers. I just need to finish off some little bits on the base. I need to put some little bits of terrain on there and a little bit of dry brushing, just to do things like give it a bit of depth, also to fill in some little gaps where some of the texture's fallen off. So what I'm going to do is I will get myself my scruffy mat. Scruffy mat. This is one I do all my painting on because I don't want to get everything else covered in scruff. And what we're going to do first is, now if you saw on Facebook and Twitter the other day, when I first did these, I did one of them as a test, and I did a bit of powdering on this guy. I did some Tamiya weathering powders on the bottom of his greatcoat. Now it looked pretty good, but as soon as you put a matte varnish on there, these have been matte varnished, it fades away and blends away. So I was debating whether to do lots of like powder on the other guys. However, what I did was I went ahead and put the matte varnish on. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't do the powder. I'd have to matte varnish them again if I did that. So I don't want to have to matte varnish them again because I've got the level of shine just about where I want it. When everything was painted, what I did was I matte varnished them. I used the Ammo Lucky matte varnish. Not the... I've got some silver paint there. I need to cover that up. Not the ultra matte, but the matte. I matte varnished the whole thing. And then just to get some shine back, I went over the gold again with some more Retributor armour, just to bring a little bit of shine back, because they had also had a wash on there. And I went over the metallic colours with a dry brush of Ammo by MIG. No, not Ammo by MIG, idiot. Vallejo Acrylic 77704 Pale Burnt Metal. And what I did was, it was a dry brush, but it wasn't a normal dry brush. I didn't use a dry brush. I used my Wargamer Regiment brush. And all I did was, I would get paint on the brush. It's a very thin paint, that metallic. I get the paint on the brush, and I do that on my finger. And then I just go, and I just scrub over the metallics very lightly, just to get it picking up on the edges. I didn't want it to be grainy dry brush, but I didn't want it to be like a normal wet brush either. So it was a kind of a half dry brush, a semi-dry brush. Sometimes you get nice effects using smaller brushes. So that was done, just to put the shine back. When I've finished, what I will do is put some gloss in the eyes, just so they shine. And on any of the little glowy parts that's supposed to be little lights. But then we shall leave it at that. So today what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a bit of dry brushing. I'm going to introduce the dust. That I'm not going to use powders. I'm going to use a mixture of probably Steel Legion Drab, which is a great dust and dirt colour. Maybe some XV88, which is a nice leathery brown colour. And possibly some Karak Stone, but I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. I'm also going to use some of my tufts, my Warhammer tufts. Now, you can get lots of other tufts, and these are stupidly expensive, £9. But there are like 250 tufts in there, or something, massive load of tufts. I've got loads of these. I've had these for years. But we use some grassy tufts. Now, I'm not going a massive amount on these bases. I'm not going to town on these bases. I'm not making them super complex. I'm just keeping them nice and simple, because my focus is, I've got a whole army to build, and I don't want people to look at how good the base is. I want them to see how good the model is. So Aviad Madar says, so a moist brush. Yes, not a dry brush, a moist brush. Anyone having stream issues with the video? I don't know, is anyone else having issues with the video? It's set to be friendly for live streaming and commenting, so it shouldn't be chunnering too much. I don't appear to be having any dropped frames or connection issues. I've had maybe a few, a small handful, but it should be working fine. So you shouldn't be having any... Shouldn't really be having any stream issues. Slight stream issue, says Interzone. Could be my connection. It could just be YouTube being an arse. We'll go with it. We'll bear with it and do our best. What else are we going to do? So I'm going to put some tufts on there. A little bit of dry brushing. I think that's it really. That's all we need to do today. So let's do the dry brushing first. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Hang on. I've just had a cross-pollination email. I thought it was going to George. Am I going to the wrong person? Okay, Jamie Bowman says, okay, George Gabriel, ask Fox to send you a pollination email, and I've had an email from Jeffrey Hendricks. That's confusing. You might want to confirm I've got the right email from the right person there. I've not missed the chat, so I'll just send everybody's email address to everybody else. I won't do that, don't worry. Right, it's different names confuse me. I think George has about 6 different names going forward, so there you go. Let's have a look. Did you break your interwebs? No, not me. Must be my internet. Oh well, says Andy McLeish. Yeah, probably. Had to refresh a few times and had some drop frames. Weird. I'm not showing any. It could possibly be me. It's not impossible. But I'm not like the other week where it was absolute nastiness. That was me. Right, time for some dry brushing. So we're going to do some dry brushing on the base a little bit. Now I've already gone around the edge with the black paint here, so I'm not going to do too much on the base. I'm going to do a little bit just to break up that brown colour. That is just to do the base. If you're wondering about the base, but if you've never seen this base before, by the way, never seen this texture before on the base, ignore those bits that have fallen off. If you've never seen that texture before, that is dead simple to do. It is just a paint called Agrellan Earth. Texture paint, Agrellan Earth. All you do is you slap it on the base, put it on quite thick. It's a crackle paint. As it dries, the top layer dries at a different speed to the bottom layer, and it goes all crackly. And it shows through whatever colour you've got underneath. In this case, I left it black underneath, so it just shows through like that. In fact, you could paint it other colours. You could, you know, paint it a red colour or a blue colour, whatever colour you wanted, really. You could get funky with it. So yeah, Agrellan Earth. It's a really nice colour. I sense heresy, Fox. What are you doing? I don't know. I'm painting the dudes. Oh. I'm about to do some dry brushing. So, what I will do is I will get my brush of the dry brushing. I'll just see what kind of size we've got here. Is it going to be too big or too small? Let's have a look. How's that going to be for getting a bit too big? So we'll try something perhaps this size. How's that going to be? That'll be right the right size. That might be better. What I want to do is basically just introduce a small amount of dust effect to the feet and the bottom of the trench coat, the great coat. Just a tiny amount. So, we're going to start off with the Steel Legion Drab, which is a fantastic colour for doing mud and dust effects. Give it a good shaky shaky. Now the trick with this is you don't want much paint on the brush at all, and you don't want it to look like you've dry brushed. So you really want almost nothing. You want it to look like a dust effect. Now, as I said, you can use pigments and powders. The difficulty with pigments and powders, you need to seal them in place with a pigment fixer and then a varnish. I've already varnished the figures, and I don't want to have to go and varnish them again because I'm lazy. So I'm just going to do a dry brush instead. So what we're going to do is we're going to take almost no paint on the brush. Quite simply, I'm going to just start getting it on camera. Just going to start dry brushing very, very gently. Now I've got almost no paint on there, and I'm being super gentle. It might take a while, but I want to build it up very slowly. I don't want it to look like I've dry brushed it at all. So I'm using a small dry brush. In fact, I've probably got too little paint on there. It's actually not coming off at all. I want it to be really subtle. This may take longer than I thought. Fox, what did you use in the airbrushing GW paints to do the thinning, says Andy McLeish? I used... hang on, I've got paint on my brush now. I used... What did I use? I used Ultimate Airbrush Thinner. That's all I did. A little bit of that. I think. Did I? I can't remember now. Oh god, I've forgotten already. Ooh. I think it was the Ultimate Airbrush Thinner. Hang on, I'll finish this bit of dry brushing. So I've not got active paint on my brush. And I'll have a look. I think it was the Ultimate Airbrush Thinner, which is just a generic acrylic thinner that can work on most paints, most acrylic paints. But you can use Tamiya X20A, that's a very good thinner to use. Basically, any alcohol-based thinner will be fine. Any thinner for acrylic paints, water-based acrylic paints, will be fine. You don't want to use lacquer thinners because they're for lacquer paints and they may react with your paint in a bad way. May not work very nicely. But any thinners for acrylic paints. Or, you know, isopropyl alcohol if you want, if you've got some of that. So we've got a little bit of metallic there. I'm going to have to touch that in at some point. Anything that's alcohol-based like that will be absolutely fine. Right, so yeah, so I used Ultimate Airbrush Thinner from Ultimate Modelling Products. You can get it from emodels.co.uk. My channel sponsors. Hey! Just trying to get it inside here. Now you've just got to try and do this in such a way that it doesn't look like I say, it doesn't look like you've just dry brushed it, because that's where it kind of gets given away. You want to do it really slowly and build it up subtly. So it's not a fast process because you've got, unlike normal dry brushing, you've got so little on the brush. It's going to take a while to build up. But it's a really nice colour. I'm not too fussed about the inside of the grey coat. Just the bit you can see. Then we'll do some more on the feet. Don't forget, if you want to ask me a question while I'm doing the painty thing, I can't see the iPad, so either stick it in big fat capital letters or pop it through as a super chat, a little dollar sign at the bottom of the screen so I can see it. Otherwise I might miss your question. I'll do my best to get the question, but I might miss it. Now we'll go and do some dry brushing on the feet. I do love the look of these guys with the metallic cyborg feet. The only downside to these kits is the ankles are very, very thin, and I've already had one of them snap at the ankle. I've glued them back on, but I know one of these is really, really rickety. The ankles are very, very thin, so when you're putting these in your, whatever your transport solution is for these, just be really, really careful. when you're putting them in. This guy is a bit wibbly wobbly because they've got tiny delicate ankles, which looks great, but structurally is a bit of a pain in the bum. Right, so there we go, a little bit of dusty. I only want it to be subtle, doesn't need to be a massively complicated effect. Just a little bit of subtle dust on the bottom there, you can see. Just makes him look a bit more realistic, a bit more like he's out and about doing stuff. He's not just stepped off the out the dry cleaning part of the ship. So what I will do now, this colour itself is very similar to the colour of the Agrellinet, so I'm not going to use any of that on there. But what you can do, I'll get a separate dry brush. What you can do is get a lighter colour, and I'm going to use Karak Stone because it's a nice sort of soft, not hot or warm colour, it's like a soft delicate colour. A little bit of Karak Stone. I'm going to use even less paint on here, a real tiny amount, almost nothing. On this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the base with a bit of this, not all over the base, just in places, just to break up that brown colour, so it's not quite as... See what I'm going to do? No, you won't be able to see him if I put him in that. Just in places, just to break up. It's too dried out. Hang on, need a bit more paint than I put on the brush. Just to catch the tops of the little bits of crackle paint. And just to add some variation, if you can see that, add some variation on there. Just helps break it up a little bit. And if I don't feel it's light enough, I can go back in with another even lighter colour and just do some patches. It just breaks up the colour a little bit. And what you can do if you want as well is add some to this, just to break that up as well if you want to. A bit more variation doesn't do any harm. Because mud isn't and dirt isn't just one colour. It can be all different colours. And this just kicks the edge there and makes it look even more like mud. So it looks like you've got a dark mud and a light mud all combined together. I'm quite pleased with that. Need touching that little bit of metallic there, but that can be done later. So that's my task for the moment, is to just get on with that basically. Brrr. Takes a while. It's not a quick job. None of this is a quick job. Now what I was going to do, and I've totally forgotten and it's too late now, is you can see on the bottom of this guy's robes I've put like almost like paint chipping effect using lighter greens, just to make it look like a bit of a battered cloth because he's got all torn edges and holes. I was going to do the same on the greatcoats, but I kind of forgot, so never mind, eh? Right, so we have, where's the Steel Legion Drab? Do. People are talking about Army Painter paints in there. I've used the Rattlecam Primer, I think it was. It's quite nice. It wasn't too offensive, I don't think. I do like this guy. This guy's mint. But I like the fact his robes are all kind of scuffed and battered. Now you have to be careful with this guy. His servitor skull has snapped off once already and it's glued back on, but it's very delicate. I don't see it surviving that long. I think after a little while I'll have nothing left. I won't have a servitor skull on this guy at all. Because I just know it's going to snap off at some point. But this guy definitely drags his garb across the floor like a scruffy pup. So he's got to have lots of dirt and dust. Oops, clunk, sorry. Now I don't need to do all this. If you're making your own Warhammer dudes, you don't need to go to all this effort and put weathering and dirt and dust on your figures. You don't have to do any of this at all. You can make them nice and clean like they've just stepped off a dropship. It's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I just like to add a little bit of life to them. Just makes them look a bit more interesting. And I like the fact that, you know, dry brushing allows you to do some things that normally you'd have to use an airbrush for. But you don't always have to use an airbrush. If you're careful and go slowly, like I'm having to reload this brush a lot because I'm using hardly any paint at all. If you go slowly, you can get some really nice effects. Very delicate dry brush effects that don't look like you've painted them. They almost look airbrushed. So we'll just very carefully get this on. I'm using some circular motions here and there as well to try and help make it even more blended and softened. Good way when you're dry brushing to get softened edges is just to use little circular motions sometimes. It just helps break things up and look less like you've just dry brushed it. Now this guy again, this guy's also tenuously glued to the base, because there's very few points of contact for this guy, just the tips of his feet and a bar in the middle underneath. So again, this guy's also a bit tenuous, so I'd fully expect this guy to fall off his base at some point. You could, if you wanted to, if I thought about it, you could use like a piece of styrene inside, jammed up inside, to try and act as a reinforcement bar. That would probably be absolutely fine. There is some scope to do that. But just so you know, he's a bit tenuously glued on there. So when you're transporting him anywhere, just take it easy. Be careful with him. Right, so that's some dirt and dust on him. I think that will do us quite nicely. I've got a couple of bits here I need to touch in, so I'm just going to get a little bit of paint. Steel Legion drab, and just blend that into there. As you can see, it's a very similar, it's not the same colour, but it's a very similar colour. Just helps hide that little hole. That's just where a little flake of the paint has unfortunately come off. You do need to seal this Agrellan Earth and Agrellan Badlands in, just to make sure you don't lose flakes of it. It's fairly sturdy, but some of it might come off. And then what we'll do is we'll get our Karak stone. Little bit of Karak stone. And we're just going to get this on the base gently, because you don't want to ping any of these bits off. I'm going to need some more paint. I'm being really delicate with the paint on the brush, but I just need to get the stuff on there, don't I? Oops, not that much though, Fox. Bums. It's fine. So I can just blend that. Just looks like different colour patches of earth. I like to do like the light colour where there's less of the crinkly crankly pattern. Sometimes get it on the edges, and then sometimes just go in, max out the light colour in the middle of where it's smoothest, basically. Ba, 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 boom. There you go. Just varies things a little bit. It's very, very subtle. It might not even come out on camera because it's very subtle even to me, and I'm sitting in front of it. It's just very, very subtle. Just makes things look dirty and scuffy, because he's walking around. These guys are walking around on this crackled dry earth, so it makes sense there'd be dust and dirt kicking up. What I might do is go for some Ushabti bone. Try that. This is an even lighter colour. Try a little bit of this. See what this does. Because I kind of want it to look like not parched desert, but dried out, you know, riverbed type stuff. A little bit of hint of this. Now this is much lighter. I'm going very gently with this, because this is quite a bright colour compared. Again, it might not come out on camera. It might not be in focus at all even. Also, I've got no paint on the brush. Woohoo! Just I'll break it up a little bit. I love dry brushing. I love anything that's like a lazy way of doing things. And dry brushing is a lazy way of airbrushing sometimes. And that gets my vote. There's a little bright patch there, so I can build that out. Little circular motions. And just stretch it out. Blend it away. Take a while. We've got a little light patch there. So it's going to take me a while to get all those colours on. So in the meantime, while I'm doing this, and I can't actually monitor the chat very easily, and you're all talking amongst yourselves anyway, which is great, let me know what you're working on. I know a few of you answered that already, but let me know what you're working on. Put in chat. Don't forget, if you want to ask any questions, please feel free to do so. Gives me stuff to talk about. But while I'm painting, do it as a super chat if you can. Or do it as a... no, do it as a super chat, yeah. Or do it all in capital letters so I have a chance of seeing it when I scroll through later. This is taking more effort than I thought. What's everyone working on? Light patch there, I think. And of course, I've already gone around the edge with the black paint, but if I make any splobs anywhere, I can just go back and touch that in again. It's only black. It's only Abaddon black. So I can fade that here. A little bit of lightness at the front. It just means that I can get a bit of shading. And one thing I do like to do as well, I'm reading some Screaming Skull. Where's my Screaming Skull? Not here. Oh well, let's not use Screaming Skull then. One thing I like to do, if I can, and it does give a little depth to your characters, to your figures on bases. If you use these kind of bases, and it's not got lots of clutter on there. One thing you can do, and it's a kind of artificial way of suggesting weight and depth, is when you're doing these kind of light dry brushes over the top of a darker colour, try and focus them around the edges. So what you can do is you can artificially lighten the outside edges of the base like this. I've got to put a bit of paint back in there, I've rubbed it off. But you can artificially lighten the outside areas but leave the darker areas in there, not dry brush them as much. And what you'll do is you'll kind of build a fake shadow. You'll fake this kind of lightness on the outside and darkness on the inside. It's only subtle, but like there you've got like a bit of a dark shadow where his feet are because I've got the lighter paint here. Now what I shall do excuse me, is I shall leave that one there. I've got little flakes of paint coming off, so I'll just touch those in. You can go there, you go there and stay there, thank you. Blend that away. Got one come off of there. Wait, paint him in. Got one there as well. That's those. Now what we can do is the fun bit. Yes. Have a quick look at chat. What's chat doing? Chris has finished the 2 wooden R2D2s he's been given. Life colour paints. If you like glazing, look into scale 75 and more colours. Scale 75 is supposed to be super matte, if I remember rightly. Thy Creator is in. Welcome, Thy Creator. Let's have a look. Captain Weirdbeard, welcome. He's snapping the RE100 gun cannon detector together. Cool. Earl D says he's not sure what is next. Maybe the Nurgle guy with the bell on his back or Kimaris Vidar. Kimaris Trooper, as Todd would say. Kimaris Trooper. I like Todd. Tony Blackwell has started a maquette Soviet Jeep, Russian company, and not awfully good. Yeah. David Bosch, welcome. He's used a dip on a Skaven army from Island of Blood. Looks like the part, but I need to retouch some. Sigh, he says. Remain Hayward has 3 Space Marines ready for priming, continuing his real grade RX-78-2. Nate Bliss has just built up the mint green Toon Tank KV2 I won from E-Model Stream, just waiting for my order of disgusting pink paint to arrive before I have to paint it up. James Lorimer is almost done with the Pinkie Pie Tall Geese. He thinks the hair is all that's left. I think I'm then doing a sort of dystopian-ish World War II Gundam diorama, maybe, or just a World War II Gundam diorama. Aviad Madar is also working on some Shadespire stuff for a challenge, for a change, a quick break from the night. Yes. Nimcinder and his spilling coffee on himself. That's a waste of coffee. But his no-name ashtray is also there before he dives into his full armor unicorn. Ooh, set aside a good long time for your full armor unicorn if it's master grade. Right, now what we're going to do... Tufts. Yes, let's do some tufts. These are a real quick and easy way. Now, you don't have to buy the Games Workshop ones that cost 350 quid. £9. I know, not cheap. I got them on a whim. I needed some. I didn't have anywhere else. I love these things. I always feel bad because when you pull these things off the thing, it's like you can make your own as well. You can use PVA glue and static grass and a bit of greaseproof paper. You can make your own, but I just needed some. I always feel bad when I make these because I feel like I'm pulling off like a tiny caterpillar off the paper. It's like, eek. Now what you want to do with these is they are adhesive, sort of. You can just stick them on, but they won't stick forever. What you want to do is you want to get yourself some PVA glue or white glue or Elmer's glue if you're in the US. All different names. And you want to get some of this. Get some on a bit of plastic or similar. Let's get some on there. There we go. Lovely. Squidge. So I've got myself some PVA glue there. I'm going to get myself a cocking tail stick. Cocking tail stick. And I'm going to get myself a tuft. I always feel guilty pulling these things off. It is like a little creature. They're kind of adorable. Oops. Some of them put up a fight. There you go. Tuft. And all we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of the old PVA gluings. Just a touch, don't need a lot, just a little tiny bit. That'll do. And we're just going to go splidunge. Splidunge. Oh look, it covered up that bit where there was some paint missing. Fantastic. Give it a little bit of a tussage. Tuss. There you go. So that'll take about 24 hours to fully stick. So don't be fiddling around with it. Bit of glue sticking out there. Now it will dry clear, so don't worry if there's a little splob of glue that sticks out. But let's pull off a little caterpillar again. Another little caterpillar. Sorry, little caterpillar. You put up a fight and everything. There you go. Poik, as the word goes. Little touch of glue. Am I doing it on camera? Yes. Little touch of glue. They are a little bit self-adhesive, but it's always good to put PVA on there just in case. Oh, look, it's stuck on there. Gimp. Get off. There you go. And you can just add these as much or as little as you want. It's tuft love, says Andy McLeish. You get all different sizes. You could build up an area if you wanted to. On my Imperial Knight, I built up like a little area of grass, which was just lots and lots of little tufts. Put another one on. But it's just a real quick and easy way of doing grassy textures. Now you can do things like static grass. What a lot of people will do is you can get like a static grass applicator, which is a little device that you put like, you go to your local hobby store and you buy, you can even get some from Games Workshop, just a box of static grass. It's just almost like grass effect sort of stuff, individual bits of grass. And you can just sprinkle them on, not like grassy sprinkles. You can just sprinkle them on, or you can use a static grass applicator, which means they'll stand up like that. When you sprinkle them down, they'll stand up in the air. And that way you can make your own sort of grassy areas. If you just sprinkle grass effect, sort of static grass on without using a static grass applicator, you just get like a green carpet, which looks alright. It looks a bit flat and lifeless. If you use a static grass applicator, it actually stands up like proper grown-up grass. Or you can just do like me and just use tufts. Because you can build little patches of grass, little areas. And it's all just jolly good fun. You've got all different sizes. Let's do a little one. Little one. Every time I hear that phrase little one, I think of Borderlands. Time to die, little one. Or was it Borderlands 2? It's probably more accurate there. And I never did find out what a meat poppet was. Well, there you go. What can you do? So there you go, just added some little bits of grassy tufts. Nothing too complex, nothing too amazing. Again, I'm not doing too much on the bases because I don't want to make them too distracting from the actual model, which is the focal point, is the actual model. I do like to have the occasional tuft sticking over the edge. Just looks kind of cool. I'll do one more. But yeah, I don't like to go too overboard. So on the Imperial Knight, I did have like patches of grass because I had some stones on there as well. You go into some patches of grass. You could do the whole thing with these tufts and you just get a nice grassy cover. But you don't have to. You want to try and keep them looking a bit random. Put one there. There. Right where he's just stood. And then 24 hours from now, they'll be fully stuck. Oh, clunk. My apologies, camera. They'll be fully stuck and done. So there, our Tech Priest. He's pretty much now finished. He's all been matte varnished. He's had the metallics highlighted. After the matte varnish, he's had the metallics dry brushed. You can see there we've got like some of the silvery colour was dry brushed over with gold. This was painted with Balthazar gold, like I did the exhaust on the Knight. Painted with Balthazar gold to get this burnt effect. It comes out. Balthazar gold the whole thing. Then I used Agrax Earthshade at the bottom just to make it darker and browner. Then I dry brushed some Retributor armour from the top halfway down, or 2/3 of the way down. And then when I came, after I'd done the matte varnish, I got some of my silver colour, which was the, which one was it? It was Burnt Pale Metal, 77704 metal colour, and just dry brushed it at the top to about halfway down, and you get that kind of hot exhaust look, but shifted towards the brown rather than blue. So that's him done. Do I need to touch in the brown, the black anywhere? No, everything's cool. So he's done now. I'll leave him to dry, put him to one side, and he's ready to go into my storage box and ready to play with. So yeah, now when you get to little figures, you don't want to go too crazy with those guys because you know you've only got a little base anyway. So for these guys, what I tend to do is just use either some of the smaller ones, just one or two little tiny ones of the tufts, or just one big one. Because at the end of the day, they've only got a little tiny base anyway. You don't need to go too crazy with these fellas. Just put one there. Well, maybe not right in front of them because that's a bit obvious. There we go, just one there. Now the glue you can see there will dry clear, it'll go away. And what you can do is once it's all dried and it's locked in place, it's not going anywhere, I can go in with a pair of scissors, fine nail scissors or something like that, decal scissors, and just trim those to make them a little bit less long because they look a bit big where he's stood right there. But that'll be fine for him, just one blob of grass, that's fine, no problem. Little dude with a blob of grass. So I'm just going to crack on doing these. I think I'll get some of the dry brushing and stuff done first. Now I've got that PVA glue out and I can't use it. So I shall put them there. Okay. What's chat doing? One big swig of the enormous coffee. Oh. James Lorimore says, if you were signed up for, he asked me about this the other day, if you signed up for a chance to win $300 and a gold season pass to a theme park, all you have to do is sit in a coffin for 30 hours, would you do it? Yeah, 300 quid, $300, you just lie in a coffin for 20, I think it's 20 hours, 24 hours and 30 hours, all snacks and stuff provided. Yeah, it doesn't matter, you're in a coffin. Some people might come up and try and disturb you. Well, then you just know they're people trying to disturb you. It's not actual ghosts. Just do it. It's basically $300 for doing nothing. Why are you not doing it already? Jamie Bone, hi Fox, have you got my email? I have no idea because I've not got my email open right now. Let's have a look. Wait my keyboard up. Yes, I've had a mail from you, Jamie. While I'm doing the stream, I'm not actually looking at my email, so I don't see when things come in. I hear them come in, I just don't have access to the thing that says, here's a thing. Does that make sense? I don't even know if that makes sense. Now, you see, the problem here is I've left my brush sitting to one side, and it's not dry brushing as nicely now. Let's do some more shenanigans on this guy's great coat. It's a great coat. It's a fabulous coat. I'll get the underside done first. again, if you want to get a nice smooth effect, tell you what I'm going to do. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him. I'm going to put these into that. I'm going to move the camera so I can work on these, and you can see maybe a bit better. Maybe a bit better. I don't know. Maybe just the focus and everything now. Hang on. Oh, that is the focus. There we go. So then I can work on these a bit better without having to keep touching them all the time. Yeah, go little circular motions is a great way to get some soft blends with your dry brushing. Especially if you're on a matte surface like this has got matte varnish on it. So especially on a matte varnish surface, because the roughness of the surface will give you some texture. Andy McLeese says, James Lomond, bloody do it. Yeah. Yeah, $300 for doing nothing. I don't see the difficulty in this decision. He says potty breaks are included, as well as meals and snacks. The thing I find amusing about Americans is when they say potty. I don't know if my American viewers and followers know this, but in England a potty is something that a very small child uses before they start using a proper grown-up toilet. So every time an American says potty break, I'm like, what, are you 4? Do you have to go and sit on a little plastic thing? What is this? Potty break, I like that. Yeah, so basically it's do nothing for whatever, how many hours, and food and toilet provided. The worst thing that will happen is you'll get bored. But then just think about $300. I don't think I'd be bored by about $300. I think I'd be more than happy to do that. So yes. The answer, in case just to quell any doubt there, the answer is, for the love of God, why aren't you doing it already? $300, dude. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I use it because I'm married to an American, says Tony Blackwell. Well, there you go then. Force of habit. I just find it amusing. Nothing wrong. I just find it amusing because in England it's a childish thing. It's like something a baby does before a child is trained to actually sit on a proper grown-up toilet. Going in with the light colour now. What was it? Ushabti-boon. I do love that name. Ushabti-boon. Only being subtle with it though. I'm not going all whole hog on it in intense colours or anything. For the most part, I'm just leaving the colours on the base will be the colour of the Agrellan earth, because it's a good colour. I like the colour. Use it more for a highlight on the coat. There we go. Look at that. So it just gives it something, and rather than just being a nice. It's a bit confusing now. You can't really see, can you? Because you've got all the other stuff going on in the background. Get them out of the way. Get out of the way. Put you over there. There you go. Can I get any closer? Yeah, we can get much closer. My fam need to see what's going on. There we go. Yeah, so it just looks a bit more interesting than just the nice green outfit with the this and that. It just looks like they've been running around on this surface for a while rather than just they've just landed. Is it a trunk or a boot, says Gross Models. I will say, actually, I'll be really honest and say, obviously being English, we say the car has a boot, not a trunk. But we say bonnet and boot. However, it's one of the rare times when I will say, I've lost my cocktail stick, that's what I'll say. One of those times when I'll say, actually, you know what? I prefer the American trunk and hood. Hood and trunk sound much better than boot and bonnet. Boot and bonnet just sound like Victorian nonsense, whereas trunk and hood sound awesome and American and very metro and very, very like kick-ass. Hood and trunk, it just sounds great. Boot and bonnet, yeah, it's boring. Boot and bonnet's boring. That wasn't even on camera, was it? My apologies to all involved. God damn, Fox. I gave him a tuft. Yeah, so boot and bonnet, nah. If I could say, I would love to say trunk and hood. Go, another one done. Another one bites the dust. Where's that other one? I've done 3 now. Where's he gone? There's he gone there. Right, let's do the big fella. I don't think he'll fit in this thing though. I don't think he's going to fit in there without being destroyed and broken, but we'll find out. Will he fit sideways? No, he's not going to fit in there. This is going to have to be a handled job. Ugh, he's rubbish. Pounds or stones? I do stones. I'm not even metric. I'm metric, but when it comes to kilograms, if you give it away something, I'll be... Well, I don't know actually. If you weigh a thing, it's in kilograms. If you weigh a person, it's in stone. It's like if you tell me I weigh 18 stone, I know you're a bit overweight, a little bit overweight. If you tell me you weigh, you know, this many kilograms, I don't know if you're fat or thin or what. I'm just like, oh, what is that? Is that, are you a fat bloater or a thin stick or what? I don't know. Pounds, no idea. Doodle doo doodle doo doo doodle doo doodle 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 doo. I do think our American colonial cousins do need to actually become metric at some point. We're not fully metric over here in the UK. We are metric, as in, you know, with decimal and stuff, but we still use miles on some things, like for measurements and stuff. Obviously for measurements, we still use miles in some places. Road signs are in miles, not kilometers. But we at least have, you know, the standard sort of measurement system. We don't use like cups and quarts and vague nonsense like that. You guys in the US, you need to get imperial. You need to get metric. More. Pounds and stones are the same thing. 1 pound equals 1 stone. Okay, I didn't know that. There you go. I mean, I don't often have to weigh things, so I'm not that intense on it. The only thing that makes no sense to me is Fahrenheit versus Celsius. The latter is logical, 0 freezing, 100 boiling. Yeah, I don't understand Fahrenheit at all. Fahrenheit makes no sense. Like, if you tell me it's 0 degrees Celsius, then I'm like, okay, so it's cold. It's water has frozen. It is cold. Oops. If you say to me it's 30 degrees Celsius, I know I'm going to go outside and shed about 13 stone in sweat because it's hot. If you say to me it's 84 Fahrenheit, I'm like, is that hot? Is that cold? It sounds hot. Or 30 Fahrenheit sounds hot. Is it hot? Probably not. It's probably cold. People say, oh my god, it's like 20 degrees outside. I've got to wear like a jumper and a fleece and everything. I'm like, what, 20 degrees? That's warm. What are you on about? That's summer. What? Fahrenheit makes no sense. Celsius, water freezes at 0. There you go. Fahrenheit, what happens at 0 Fahrenheit? Nothing much, really. I mean, I don't know what the exact temperature is. Somebody can tell me, but what temperature Fahrenheit does water freeze? It like 20 or something. It makes no sense whatsoever. Imperial is like, how many of these should we have before we go to the next size up? We've used 3, 12, 14, 16 for other things already, says Chris. Yeah, Imperial makes no sense whatsoever. Imperial really does make no sense, and I don't envy anybody that has an Imperial system. Imperial's terrible. You know, we had it bad. We were Imperial for a while. We did the pounds, shillings and pence and the different stupid weights and all that kind of nonsense. I'm just glad that when I was born, it was the year that decimalisation of the currency came in. I didn't have to learn about... Wow, that really was off camera. Learn about all the sort of pounds, shillings and pence and all the other currency things that we had. It was a nightmare. 12 of this to 15 of those, and 6 of them equals 1 of them, and that's 2/3. And the tuppence halfpenny is 17 farthings plus a bit of that, and it's like, what? It makes no sense whatsoever. This is just nonsense and really weird. So that's him. We'll do a little bit of light colour on the base. You can have a 12 base number easier. I grew up on Imperial. You also used the king's foot to mark off how much was a foot. That's weird. Yeah, I mean, we were a bit wrong for a while with the measurements. I'm not saying we're, you know, perfect with it, but we modernised. Tyrone Key says, what's everyone's favourite non-Gundam anime? Mine is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I don't watch a lot of anime, so I don't really know that much anime. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't really know that much. What am I doing? That much anime series. That is. So I've never really watched that much. Kind of a non-answer, really, wasn't it? It was a bit of a rubbish answer. I apologise. It was not very interesting. Doodle doo doodle doo doo. Ba-doo 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 doo. Did anyone answer the question as to what the freezing point of water is in Fahrenheit? Somebody tell me. I need to know for the reasons. I get the impression it's some dumbass number in the middle of nowhere for some reason. Like 17.5 or something crazy. I'm being careful here not to push out any of the little bits, but I want to get a lighter patch here. Apologies this was not on camera because I moved the camera now. I don't know where anything is, so. And I did, unfortunately, the paint that I put down, the Agrellan earth, sunk into the little recess in the middle of the thing and is there, so I need to put a tuft on that just to hide it a bit. So I'll get a little bit of a lighter colour just to break it up. Tuft. Tuft time. I don't want to go for a big tuft in the middle. Go for a little tiny one. Just cover it up a little bit. Baby tuft. Baby tuft. Ooh. There we go. That was the noise of me putting glue on the tuft. Just I suddenly realised that was all off camera and you wouldn't know why the hell I was making a little noise. It would be a bit weird. So I just happen to have put that, just happens to be in the middle for no real specific reason other than there's a great big dimple there I need to fill in. There you go. But what I will do is I will give him some friends. Ooh, Bob Ross, there we go. Give him a little friend. It's a happy little tuft. But, you know, tufts don't live on their own. They like to have friends. So we're going to give him a friend. Give that tuft a nice friend. There we go. That was totally off camera. So we'll give that tuft a nice friend. Now they can be the best of friends. I moved the camera so I can use the handle thing and then didn't use the handle. Ugh. So he's down there. Do another one. Now you could, of course, if you're doing these kind of bases, you can, of course, go the whole hog, go to town and put things on the base. You can add, you know, different textures. You could do the kitty litter thing with your bits of gravel and stuff. You can add all kinds of... I'm going to put one there now anyway, because I put some glue on there, you spoon. You could add all kinds of textures. You could do like I did and use actual real soil. And you can do like get bits of kits, bits of other kits and sprinkle them around like bits of debris and broken parts of vehicles or bits of armour just lying around like they've just been left on the battlefield. You can go to town with these. You can make them as complex or as simple as you want. You don't have to do like me and just do a simple basic base. I just get to the point where, because I'm doing a whole army, I'm not that fussed if the bases don't look like works of art. If I was building this as like a one-off, as like a display piece, then yes, I'd probably make a lot more effort. But because I'm just doing a quick army build to get my army up to playable level. Oh, come off. There we go. Get my army up and playable. Then I'm not too fussed. I need to vary it because it kind of looks like it's just following the edge of the thing, which is a bit rubbish. So what I want to do is get a big long fat splodgy one. Let's get a big long wiggly one. That's not just a like one of these. It's not just a straight shot. Am I doing everything off camera? Je suis idiot. I really shouldn't know. That's fine. Squinge. Done. There you go. Now his base looks a little more interesting. A little bit symmetrical perhaps, but it looks fine. And again, once those have dried, give it 24 hours. That'll be nice and shiny. Now what I'm doing is I'm making sure all my... oh, I'm offline. Oh, apparently I was offline there. Chris has just texted me. My apologies, folks. I wasn't supposed to be offline. That was weird. Am I back? Can you see me all? Hang on, let me... My apologies. Am I back now, folks? Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, that was weird. That was very, very weird. I don't know what that was. But thank you, Chris, for letting me know. I don't know if I go off stream, you see. I didn't press anything. I certainly didn't press anything to kill the stream. I didn't get any kind of notification that the stream went down. Oh, that was a bit rubbish, wasn't it? My apologies, folks. Internet must be pants. Maybe YouTube's being a bit weird. Odd. I don't know. I don't know what that was. Right, where are we? Now, what I'm going to do today, because we're not doing the... just an update for everybody. If you weren't here... Hey, Richard Flanagan's in. Welcome, Richard. If you weren't here at the start, just an update for you. Because of expenses incurred have getting my car sorted out this month, and because of the cost of sending out all the prizes for the Wheel of giveaways, because it is an expensive thing sending it all, especially with the big ones, I'm going to hold off on the Wheel of giveaways just for a few weeks, because right now I can't afford... I've got all the prizes and stuff to send out from the last few weeks. They've still got to go out. That's fine. You're not going... Anybody who's won something and is waiting for a prize, you're not going to miss out. But I need to just stop sending stuff out for a few weeks, just so my finances can recover. Because as I say, I've just had my MOT insurance and road tax all come in at the same time. For a marvel and miracle of scheduling and coordinating, it all comes out at the same time, which is like arse. Is that even on camera? No, of course it's not. So yes, I'm just going to hold off on those just for a few weeks, just to give me a chance to recover. I say, if all the people that are waiting for prizes to go out, because there's a couple of weeks for the prizes. What do we have? We have the real grade Gundam Mark II. We have the Hawk Airfix Hawk, and obviously somebody's going to win the AMX 30B2 this week. And there's the book that somebody won. There's the Carry and Throw from a few weeks ago. As I say often, I do tend to leave them till the end of the month when I get Patreon payday, so I can afford to send them all out. They're all still waiting to go out. They will go out, don't worry. I get paid in a couple of days, so that's all right. But I just need to... I'll need to sort of recharge my finances for a few weeks. So just for a few weeks, we're still going to do sticker giveaways, but we're not going to be doing the Wheel of giveaways. So don't worry, there's still a huge stash of stuff to give away. Don't panic about that. It's not going to go away. I've still got stacks and stacks of things to give away. Lots of good stuff. Right, what are we up to? Right, as always, don't forget, of course, if you've joined us and weren't here at the start, as always, we are doing the Stream Boss Battle, which, if you're not sure what that is, it's that thing up here. Aviad Madar is our current stream boss. His health is at... Oops, knocking the camera. His health is at 80,174, I think, if my eyesight doesn't lie to me. You need to try and get his health down to 0. Whoever gets him to 0 becomes the new stream boss and wins, pretty much, 200 to 300 quid worth of Warhammer stuff. Free of charge. So, if you want to get his health down, you just need to... If you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe. That takes a little bit of his health off. Subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to, you can do a super chat, which is the little $sign at the bottom of the stream chat window. Or if you want to, you can do a tip through the tip jar, which is here, tipjarstreamlabs.com/modelmakingguru. And again, putting a tip through also takes a little bit of his health off. So tips and I can't get my words out today. I really am struggling. Tips and super chats. There we go. Words and pictures. Tips and super chats take his health down. The more you put through as a tip, or the more you put through as a super chat, of course, the more of his health comes off, and the closer he gets to 0. And I say, whoever gets him down, whoever's the person that gets him to 0, that person then wins 200 to 300 quid worth of Warhammer stuff. All the money that's raised, or most of the money that's raised through the tips and super chats, actually goes into a kitty, into a fund to pay for the prize for the winner. And last time Aviad won, it was 280 quid. So he got himself a whole massive stash of lovely, lovely Warhammer stuff that was epic. So there you go. So get doing that. Right, so that's that one. But yes, but because we're leaving the, we're not doing the Wheel of Giveaways today. I'll leave some of the bits a bit later, so we'll do them about 5 o'clock or so. Aviad Madar says, did some sprinkling this weekend, found a few kits I can send over for the wheel, by the way, some tanks with a million tracks and bits I never get around to. You're more than welcome to Aviad if you wish. You don't have to, but if you want to, that would be super kind of you. Thank you very much. I'm sure everyone in the chat will thank you as well. Right, let's get this guy done. Naked Modeler, yes, it's 41 degrees C. Oh, hello, Naked Modeler. So, Naked Modeler from Greece. One wonders if you're actually naked or not. One, don't know. It never rains, but it pours, says Richard Gibbs. Yes. Earl D says, Fox, doing a bank robbery on Friday. I can be the getaway driver. Yeah, you put that on the internet, dude. You know, the internet where people can read things. You might want to maybe not do it on that date. No, you've kind of pissed on your chips there, haven't you, basically, I think is the phrase you're looking for. Yeah. Anyway, I never said I was a good driver. I'm a terrible driver, trust me. I'd get lost. If you're just joining us, I'm just adding some little bits of weathering to my figures, to my Skitarii Rangers. I was going to use weathering powders, but like a spoon I've already matte varnished them, so what I'm doing is just using some Steel Legion drab and dry brushing it very carefully onto the bottom of their greatcoats, just to give that kind of dusty earth look. Steel Legion drab is a fantastic colour for that. It just goes on, if you go on in small enough amounts, it goes on really soft and it kind of fades really nicely. So I'm just adding some of that, and every time I knock the camera, a kitten gets its wings or something, I don't know. I'm sick of knocking the camera now. It's getting quite annoying for me, so I can imagine it's very annoying for you. Andy McLee says, model making gear gets lost going down the garden path. Dude, I get lost getting out of bed. So yeah, don't count on me for anything. Some dirt on his feet. Steel Legion drab's also a good colour because it kind of matches the Agrellan Earth that I did the crackle texture with. It's a good sort of dry mud texture. Just a nice colour. It's great for dry brushing onto the bottom of cloaks and coats and things like this. Just works really nicely. It works best over a matte surface though. Don't do it over a shiny surface. It doesn't really work when you dry brush like that. That's him done. Now it's time for the tuft. Let's give him the tuft. Maybe someone should get me a GoPro, said Andy McLeish. No, GoPros are a nightmare, aren't they? Don't they? Like, you wouldn't want, my head moves all over the place. You wouldn't want that going on. You get dizzy. Tuft. Oh, I dropped me tuft. Hang on. There. Hang on. I'm trying to get glue on my tuft. Glue my tufts. Squidge. Like a little hairy spider. Tuft goodness. Give him one more. I'll give him one more tuft. Duo tuft. He gets a bit of double tuft action. Ooh, that sounds rude. Oops. Again, don't worry about any PVA glue sticking out because it's PVA glue, so it dries clear. And again, what I'll do is once these are all dried and the glue's all dry and stuff, if any of this, because sometimes it does look a bit long and over the top on single figure bases, you can just trim it with a pair of scissors. Thy Creator says, good night guys, I have exams tomorrow. Also Fox, I sent you some questions for later. Thy Creator, thank you very much for coming in. Good luck with your exams tomorrow. Don't forget to come back and watch later on, just in case you won the big tank thing, because we're still going to do that later on. But thank you for coming in. Don't forget, of course, if you want to enter this week's giveaway for that big French tank, the big 135th tank with 8 trillion track parts, all you needed to do was put a comment on last week's video. So if you haven't done that yet, do make sure you go and put a comment on the video, because you've got plenty of time. We'll probably do it about 5 o'clock. Pull the winners and then do the giveaways and stickery things. Doodle doo doo doodle doo doodle doodle doo. Richard Flanagan says, I was really hoping the parcel I sent would arrive yesterday, but apparently first class postage doesn't mean that. Yeah. Yeah, I did wonder that. It's just like, it's not turned up yet. I don't think saying they missed it, and we're usually pretty good for our post. Our post is pretty good. We've got a postman that will ring the doorbell, and then, because he's got used to me, sometimes he'll ring the doorbell dead early, he gets in dead early. But it's really cool, because you know, like most postmen, they'll ring the doorbell, and then by the time you've actually just opened your eyes, they've gone and left you a card. Ours doesn't do that. Ours rings the doorbell and then just stands there. I've actually managed to be able to get out of bed, get a dressing gown on, get downstairs, get the curtain open, unlock the door, unlock the porch, and he's still stood there. He's a star. He waits. He's a star. He waits for you to get to the door. He knows that sometimes everybody's in bed. It's like, brilliant, you're a genius. I'm still not sure what you're sending me, Richard. I'm looking forward to it. Richard's sending me something, but I don't quite know what. I'm intrigued. I don't know if it's stuff for me or if it's stuff for you guys. It could be giveaway stuff, I don't know. Could be anything. Could be stuff to put into my face. Could be edible things. Oh yeah. Or it might be modelly things. I don't know. He just said, I've got some stuff I can send you if you want. I said, yeah, brilliant, thank you. Brilliant, here's a tracking number. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know what it is. I'm James Lorham. I'm off to get a cake stuff for the lady's birthday. Be back soon. Okay, James, see you in a bit. I'm going to go for another hour or so. So, if you're not back by then, thanks for coming in. If you are back by then, I'll see you in a bit. Also, cake. JS Idaho says, Fox, the weathering looks good and ties them to their bases. Yeah, that's the idea. I really want to... If you're going to put... Because obviously you put your figures on bases when you're doing a tabletop miniature, because that's how you play the game. But often you'll see a figure, and if it's just a rocky landscape, then it doesn't really matter. That's fine. If you're just doing rocks, then, you know, that you can just leave the figures unweathered. But if you're doing like this one, it's a grell and earth, so it's like a cracked dust, like a dried out riverbed, lake bed thing, which suggests dust and not mud, but dust and dried earth. You're going to get dust and dirt transferring it, at the very least, to the feet of the person running across it. So it really doesn't make any sense to have somebody running across a dusty, earthy landscape and not picking up any dust. Like I say, if you're doing rocks and just rocks, then it's fine. You wouldn't have to. But it's always good to tie, like you say, like he says, it ties it together. It makes the figure part of the base. It makes a little scene rather than just... Wait, where can I put this tough now? It makes a little scene rather than just a dude on a base. It makes it a little tiny scene. And again, if you're doing snow, for example, if I was doing, say, a snow base, what I like to do with snow is treat it like a mud base. So treat snow like mud. And what I mean by that is do mud first. Is that on camera? No, it's down there. Do a mud layer first on the base. Get your figure on there and stuff, and then get some snow on the base, however you want to do your snow, different ways to do it. And then when you do the weathering on the figure, don't just put, say if I was doing this on a snow bit, I wouldn't just put snow going up his cloak, because yes, there would be some snow on there, but you'd also have things like mud. If he's on a muddy landscape with snow on top, you'd have mud going up and then snow as well, or some of the extremities. So you can tie them together with different things like snow and mud, or it could be, you know, snow and rock, it doesn't matter. You can tie them all together. But yes, it just anchors your figure, or whatever it is you're painting and building, to the base. Rather than just having, you know, a figure that just happens to be in the same region of space-time as all the things on the base. Because if I was to come running through your garden now, you can guarantee I'd end up with some of the dirt and dust on my shoes, and if I had a big flowy greatcoat, I'd probably have some of that on there as well. So it helps tie them all together, and it doesn't have to be anything complex. You know, just a little bit of dry brushing of an earth tone is all you need. If you were doing a purely rocky base, then you could still do weather, and you could have the rock could be on, you know, dusty earth. It's just an interesting thing to do. If he's on gravel, like you say, you're doing an urban setting, you're like concrete or something, that's a bit more tricky, because then it's like, well, what kind of dust and dirt would you have? In that case, you might just want almost maybe what I'm doing now might still work even on like concrete, because there's always still dust and dirt. So you never know. Just have fun with it. Have fun with it. Can I just say, says Aviad Madar, oh, Mike's in. Hey, Dad. Mike Mountain's in. Welcome, Dad. Thank you for coming in. Can I just say, says Aviad Madar, Games Workshop customer service is awesome. Got a box of Citadel air paints on a trip. A few of them were chunky and they left. Just email. I'll start that again. You got some Citadel air paints on a trip. A few of them were chunky and he just emailed to say they'll replace the whole box. Yeah, Games Workshop do have some of the best customer service you'll ever come across. They are awesome. If you get something and it's broken, even just like if I got a kit and it was like one bit was just broken, they'd replace the whole kit. They just do it. They'd be like, yeah, no problem, we'll just send a new kit for you. Paul, if you know that me, Chris, who's Gross Models in chat, and Paul, Glued to the Sprue, do Team Inept. Paul ordered something from Forge World. And strangely enough, Forge World actually gave him some good customer service. Now, Forge World are another part of Games Workshop. There's the Warhammer stuff, which we know, the plastic part of the business, which is the Games Workshop stuff, and then there's Forge World to do all the resin things. Now, Forge World are legendary for poor, well, in certain aspects, poor customer service. However, they also have excellent customer service. Generally, Games Workshop give you fantastic customer service all the time. Forge World tend to give you good customer service for replacements and missing parts, but anything else, they can be a bit lackluster. But yeah, Paul got an entire kit of Magnus the Red from Forge World back. He ordered something and got like, they just sent him a Magnus the Red for no reason whatsoever. And he said, hey, you've sent me this expensive Primarch figure that I didn't ask for by accident. You've included it in my package. Do you want me to send it back? And they're like, nah, just keep it. Bonus. Don't even know how much that would cost. So yeah, overall, Games Workshop do have excellent customer services. Yes, Dad's in. Mike Mountain. Dad is in. He's another one of your mods. So make sure you behave yourselves. Everybody likes Dad. Dad's awesome. Can't get any brush in there to get any mud in his back of his, in that little fold. Get in. Get in. Where I buy this Warhammer? Me in Kos, says Naked Modeler. You're in Greece. If you go to, well, there are official Warhammer stores. Obviously, they'll either be Games Workshop or Warhammer. I'm sure there should be some in Greece somewhere. But there's also other stores that will sell Warhammer stuff, like third-party retailers that will sell. They'll be licensed to sell Warhammer stuff. So you can either just buy it online from a local retailer. That's probably the easiest way, on Amazon or whatever. Or if you just go to the Games Workshop website, which is just gamesworkshop.com, I think. Or just do a Google search for Games Workshop Store Finder. They do have a thing on the website where you can put in your address or your postcode or country, and it will tell you where your nearest Games Workshop or authorised dealer is. Just do a Google search for Games Workshop Store Finder. You'll find it. But also, when you go to the Games Workshop website, you can put down your country of residence, and it'll give you all the prices in your currency, and also it'll give you sort of stuff relevant to your location. Right, so that's him done. Give him a tuft time. If someone could do me a favour though, because I can't get to chat right now, if someone could go to the Games Workshop website and copy... Oh, you can't copy it in, can you? Hang on then. Let me pause for a second. Let me pause for a moment and I will find you the link for the thing. Hang on. Wake my keyboard up. Right, I shall Oh, I've got an update for my iPad. Right, let me go. Like, Games Workshop. I'm just on my iPad now, typing it in. Games Workshop Store Finder. Pew. Do doodle doodle doo doo. Doodle doo 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 doo. Find a store near you. COS. Boing. That's not COS, that's iOS. That's no use at all, you idiot. Wow, typing. COS. Okay. Right, well, I'm going to copy the link. So you can find for yourself. It might be that you haven't got one near you. You might have to order it online. But the website, if you go to gamesworkshop.com, I'll put the link in for you anyway. You can order from pretty much any country, and they are fantastic. If you order more than 130 quid worth of stuff, or 130 euros, I think, it's free shipping anyway. So I'll just paste that in there. So there is the link for the Games Workshop Store Finder. There should be one near you. I suspect there is. If not, though, if the nearest one is like, you know, space or something, then just order online. The prices are exactly the same. Or you might have a local shop in your area that does Games Workshop. Have a look for local hobby shops. But if you get really desperate, just order it online. The more you spend, I know it's, if in the UK it's £130 and you get free shipping. I'm guessing it's 130 euros outside of the UK, probably, I don't know. Doodle-doo. Stupid fast shipping as well. Says Aviad. Yes, I ordered Aviad's prizes for the stream boss. He won. I ordered the prizes for him. I'm in the UK. Aviad's in Israel. And the reason we do like the prizes for the stream boss or in Games Workshop is because the service is so good. I ordered for him. And it took 4 days for his massive order to be delivered in Israel from the UK. It's like, what? That's insane. 4 days. And it was free shipping because it was all over 130 euros. So that's a little fella weathered. There we go, little fella weathered there. Lovely, lovely. I've got 3 more to do. Get some more tissue for my dry brushing. I think we'll have finished these by the time I get to the end of this stream. Chris at Gross Model says, my closest shop is just down the road from my work. I still haven't bought a kit from them. You're doing it wrong, Chris. You need to go out and buy all the things you can find from Games Workshop because of all the reasons. And the more reasons there are, the more things you have to buy. And there are all the reasons. So clearly you have to buy all the things. There you go. Done. Argument. Works. I win. Paul at Team Inept says, you don't have a kit that was bought from there. You do have a kit that was bought from there, says Paul, sorry, at Team Inept. Yes, I have a kit that was bought from Paul at Team Inept. I have a kit that was bought from his local store. I have it here in my house. I shall show you in a moment. I have a kit from the Uxbridge Games Workshop, and I don't live in Uxbridge. As far as I know, Uxbridge is in like space somewhere. We don't even talk English in Uxbridge. I don't even know where Uxbridge is. Where's Uxbridge? I don't even know where that is. Is that even a place? I know not of such things. Oops. Now Paul and Chris are having a couples fight. Cool. We're arguing about something. Is this even on camera? I don't know. I'm all of 6s and 7s as to where the camera is today, so yeah, I moved it once and that was a big mistake. Tyrone Key says, my older brother is like 15 minutes away from Warhammer World, so when I go visit him I also go there. Oh god, I'd be bankrupt. It would be the most awesome thing and also the worst thing ever if I lived anywhere near Warhammer World. I mean, it's not a lifetime away from me, it's not millions of miles away, but it's a trek down the motorway and I get lost and I don't like driving, so thankfully it's not something I have to do. Oh, it's not something I have easy access to, let's say. Better way to put it. Okay, some of these are weathering better than others. I'm not happy on the finish on this one. It's not coming out quite as I expected it to, but never mind. It'll be fine. Yeah, I'm not as keen on the weathering on this one. It didn't come out like I wanted it to. Oh well. See, even I make goofs. Goof. Peace. I don't always get it right. So that side's quite good, but then this side just looks a bit gash, really. Never mind. Didn't come out quite looking awesome. It looks kind of dry brushed. It kind of looks just dry brushed. It went too high. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Oh, knocking the camera. There we go. Knocking the camera again. There we go. Nice and shiny. Oh, going home. I give up. Tufty tuft. Unfortunately, with these guys, I've only really got the option of putting tufts like in front of them or between the legs, which is a bit boring because they've all got tufts in the same places. I could have the option of not even giving them a tuft, but that seems a bit unlikely. Got to give them something. Ooh, big dot of glue there. That's not good. Let's not use you then. Let's get rid of you. Now, I don't have to get rid of that, but it's got a big dot of glue on the grass. Oh, I've got rid of it. It does dry clear, but sometimes if you get glue on the outside of the tuft, so like on the grassy bit, it can look a bit pants. It can go a bit crispy and spiky looking. So it can look a bit rubbish sometimes. So we'll see how that does. It'll probably be fine. If I need to, I can always cut it off anyway. Trim it with some scissors. So that one, he didn't go well, him. He gave me grief, that one. Yeah, git. Don't like that one. Don't like that one. A friend of mine, Osric 9000 said, a friend of mine works in a Games Workshop's head office in Nottingham. I'll need to have a word. Wow, really? Yeah, you need to have a lot of words with them. Tell them I accept all kinds of sponsorship. Tell them I love doing previews of pre-release previews of kits. Yeah. Tell them I exist. That'd be nice. Do 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 do. Manager of my local store actually moved to Nottingham to work in head office. Chris, lovely guy, nice guy. He's working at head office now, doing something to do with schools. Basically, how they can get Games Workshop in schools. Isn't that a bit like being a drug dealer? How can we sell crack in schools? Yeah, how can we sell a lot of plastic crack in schools? Knocking the camera, there we go. Lovely, lovely. This one's giving me grief now as well. Yeah. Doodle doo doodle 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 doodle. Wary of this one now. Wary of it. It's not behaving. Do do do. Sometimes dry brushing works a treat, and sometimes it just refuses to cooperate. Don't know why. Got round, scruffy, fluffy bits. Remember, with weathering, less is more. Sometimes less weathering can look a lot more convincing than too much weathering. And I know I'm saying that. This is me saying that. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever said. But it's true. Sometimes less weathering can actually come out across as more convincing than more. Right, so that's that. I like that pose. He's like, ha! It's like a heroic pose. I like that. It's quite a mint pose. Give him a tuft. Foxx, you should... excuse me. Foxx, you should drop them in a line introducing yourself and link your channel. Yeah, it probably wouldn't do anything. They probably already know who I am anyway. But I suspect it probably wouldn't do anything. Hi, I'm another YouTuber. Can I have some free stuff? I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't even know. I've no idea. They probably don't even know who I am. I mean, I'm not a massive, at least I'm not yet a massive Warhammer YouTuber. I've done a few Warhammer bits, but I'm not well known as a Warhammer. I'm not like, you know, Kirioth or some of the other ones whose names I can't remember because I can't remember them. There's tons like Spiky Bits and stuff. I know he does other stuff as well. You know, and other ones, but UK based. I'm sure there's tons of people out there who would be further in line than me. Oh, Dave's in, I think. What ho, chap, says Dave. Welcome, Dave. Welcome to the afternoon. Just in time for the giveaway. I shall do this. I shall stop knocking the camera. Right, I'll get this guy weathered. I'll get the tufts on. And when that's done, I'm going to pull the camera back and stop knocking it. And then we can do the giveaways and that. So I'm going to just do a little bit of weathering for him. Because he's the last one. Do 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 do. So, a little bit of scruffy on this chap. Yeah, they probably do. I mean, they probably know. They're probably aware of my channel. I think, if I remember rightly, Chris, the manager from my store, who's now in Nottingham, I think he actually told them who I was at one point. I think he made them aware of my silly paint names. I think I had conversation with people who said, oh yes, we were aware of that. But it's all good PR, I suppose. But they probably get tons of people saying, hey, can I have free stuff because I've got like 5 viewers. So... Now, in 10 years' time, when I'm working at Games Workshop along with Duncan and Peachy and doing painting and stuff like that, because that would be awesome. When I'm on the painting team doing Warhammer TV, just remind me of this conversation. When I'm hanging out on painting with Peachy and Duncan and getting the mickey taken out of me by Notley and the others. I'll say that again in English. Getting the mickey taken out of me by Notley and the others in the chat. Yeah, remind me of this conversation. In my dreams. Imagine that. If you ever get an announcement one day saying, hey guys, my channel's closing down because I'm going to go and work with Peachy and Duncan. So, bye. Actually, to be honest, if that happened, I'd still keep the channel going. If I was offered a job to work at Games Workshop, you can guarantee I wouldn't want to do the painting team because I'm nowhere anywhere near the league of any. Well, I'm not near the league of any of them. I wouldn't want to work on the painting team because just sitting there painting all day, I think I probably would find that a bit too boring. I think, but to work on the video team, you know, like the guys that do the painting tutorials and stuff, I'd be well up for that. It would never happen, but it would be awesome. To sit in the my goal, my life goal, my ambition at some point in the next 5 years. In the next 5 years, my goal is to sit in that chair at that desk. In the ow, stuck myself with a glue. My goal, my milestone, is to sit in that chair at that painting desk. In the little studio in Warhammer World office, where Duncan and Peachy sit and do their videos. That is my goal, my target for the next 5 years. At some point, I am determined I will sit in that chair, even just for like 10 seconds. But I will sit in that chair. That's my target. That's my goal. Right, so he's done. So what I shall do is I will get all the glue off my lid because that's going to go all mingy now. I shall put my tufts away. Paul says, because nobody takes the mickey out of you in this chat. Everybody takes the mickey out of me in this chat. When I do any kind of stream, I expect people to take the mickey out of me. That's why I like doing these live streams, because it's all just taking the mickey. And I would expect, if I was doing this professionally, I'd still expect you to all take the mickey out of me, because that's how it works. Right, so I'm going to move the camera. Look at that, massive movements. Get these guys in here, and I will do the focus in a second. Don't panic, don't panic. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. So that is these guys, pretty much done and... Oops, hello, shenanigans going on there. Pretty much done and done. I'm being all delicate with them, but I have to get used to the fact that when I start playing games, they need to be manhandled, roughly. Roughly manhandled. Right, so there we go. That is the little wee fellas. I'll lock the focus in a second. Where's the focus? There's the focus. Wobbly camera, you know it's the truth. That is all the little wee fellas done. I think that's the first. Is this the first time on the stream I've actually finished something? I think it is. I think it is, peeps. Hey, brilliant. Right, so what I need to do is I need to go for a quick wee. So I shall leave you for a moment to look at these awesome dudes while I go for a quick wee. And then when we come back, we'll do the sticker giveaways and we'll find out who won the prize from last week. So give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. I'll give you some music to listen to. Hang on. I don't want to leave you in silence. I shall give you some tunes to listen to. Let's just do a random tune. Hang on. There we go. Should be a random tune slowly fading in for you. I shall be back in a moment. Right, and oh, stop the music, stop the music. There we go. Right, I'm back. Hello. Right, there we go. Thank you for your patience. Right, I'll be dying for a wee for about an hour. Right, so let's move these chaps out of the way, and we'll do giveaways and things. So I'm just going to move them carefully out of the way. Quite pleased with those guys. Little fellas, my army's growing. Now I need to get out of the habit. This is another group of dudes that I've built that I can't play because I haven't got the codex yet. I built some Space Marines that I haven't got the codex for. I built the Imperial Knights that I haven't yet got the codex for. I haven't built any of my Imperial Guard, which I do have the codex for. It's like, Fox, you're an idiot. So I need to build some stuff that I've actually got the codex for. Let's get this in focus. Right, where are we? Where's my focusing tool? There we go. That's pretty much in focus. Yes. So, right. It is time. Get the bloody rules, says Andy McLeish. Yeah, they're not cheap, you know. I've got the rules. I've got the codex for Imperial Guard, and I've got the codex for Death Corps of Krieg. I just haven't got the codex for any of these guys yet. So next, I think I need to make the Death Corps of Krieg, because they are mint. Right, so, well, actually, next I've got to finish making my Taurox. I've got my Tempestus Scions as well. I can do them because I've got the codex for them as well. That's true. I can do that. Right. So, let's crack on. Fox, great planning, says Ghost Lyle. Yeah, I know. Idiot. So what we're going to do, let's do some giveaways. Like I say, we're not doing a wheel of giveaways this week, but I will announce last week's winner. We'll do some sticker giveaways first. So, we have the 3 thingies. I shall get my email ready, and we'll ask the 3 question. This music is like, Paul says, Christ, the music is like the Eurovision cast-offs. Yeah. I would love for someone to send me a bunch of Citadel. But you know what I'll do if I win the lottery? I had this thought the other day. If I won the lottery, this sounds really weird, but what I'll do is I will buy a shop, like a local shop that's got like a shop front on the ground floor, and then upstairs is all flats. I'd buy a shop front and I'd make it into a studio. And I wouldn't run it as a shop, I'd just have it as a studio. Downstairs would be where I worked, my studio, my model making studio and filmed. Upstairs would be where I lived. But I'd make it open to public so people can come in and they can just, you know, I can teach them stuff and they can sit and hang out and use this. There'd be enough workbench for people to use the workbench and stuff. And I wouldn't charge, it'd be free because I'd be a millionaire. But I would also do things like, I'd like go to phone up with Games Workshop and say, right, I need a rack of your paints that you have in shops with all the paints in, please. And 6 of each paint, thank you very much. Massive rack of every single paint. That'd be mint, that would. Anyway, I'm getting waffly now. So, we're going to do some giveaways, some stickery giveaways. As always, if you have sent me an email and I use your email now with some Sunday questions, then I will send you a sticker as long as you've included your name and address in the email. Now, before we go anywhere, as always, by this point in the show, especially when the show crashed once, there is a lag between me talking and my movement on the screen. The video and the audio go out of sync. So before we do anything, you need to refresh your browser and drag the bar to the right hand side. To do that now, do it now. I'm waiting for you to do it now. Have a swig of coffee while you're doing that. Oh. I'm just going to delete that. Delete that. Get some of this extra mails that I don't need. I've got the mail for Jamie and Jeffrey. Okay, Jeffrey, I know it's you, George, so there you go. Sorted. Right, so do some stickery questions. Okay, now I know we do have some from last time and the time before. I'm going to delete that because that's a spam email. Okay, so we have some questions here. I'm going to go through... Let's go through some of these questions. Wow, I'm taking a while to do this. Have we done this one? Have I done that question? I've done that question already. Okay, question from Tony Blackwell. Ooh, Tony, that font is hard to read, dude. Maybe not use a cursive font in your emails. It's actually quite hard to read. Okay, right, here we go. I've got to read this carefully now. Right, here's the question. First question for a sticker. And this is from Tony Blackwell. Is everybody ready? Let me just read the answer because it's hard to read this font. Let me just... there we go. Right, okay. Where on the UK mainland, pay attention, where on the UK mainland and what year was the last invasion by a hostile enemy force? So where in the UK and what year was the hostile invasion by an enemy UK force? Go! I've got to go back and check now. Remember, I go off the answer in the email. I don't fact check these. I need the year as well, not just the place. I can hear you all Googling furiously in the background. Aww. Rustin Customs is in. Rustin Customs, you want to win a sticker? Tell me the last time that a hostile force invaded the UK mainland and where. The year and where. I need the year and where it was. I've already had half the answer. Oh, Naked Model as well. Thanks for coming in, dude. Somebody's half got it. Jamie Bone, bang. 1797 Fishguards. Yes, the answer is Fishguard, Pembrokeshire in South Wales. 1797. It was a force of French. The invasion was quickly put down after a battle. There you go. So thank you for that one, Tony. Well done for Jamie. So Jamie, you know what to do. Send me an email to where's the thing? Fox@modelmakingguru.com. The address is there. With your name, address, and that you won a sticker. Thank you very much, Tony. And now the next question. Right, now here's a question from Andy McLeish, because I didn't delete his email that he sent me again a second time. Here's a question from Andy McLeish. It's a Warhammer based one for once. I don't know if you'll get this one. He doesn't give a lot of information in the question, so you might struggle a bit. But here we go. He says, right, the Warhammer monthly comic, the original one, the original Warhammer monthly comic featured a big Titan. What was the Titan called? Go. I don't know if any of you get that. It's probably a bit of a reach to get that one. You might get it, I don't know. Dave Wizard Barker says, what about the Germans invading the Channel Islands? It said mainland. The question, it said mainland. So what was the name of the big Titan in the original Warhammer monthly comic? Doodle 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 doodle. Andy McLeish says, maybe I should make them Iton. I'll give you a clue. It sounds like Latin. It's typical Warhammer Pig Latin. It's the name of the Titan. Again, I go off the answer I'm given. I don't fact check. Nobody's going to get this one, are they? Oh, not Eric. Not Bob. Hello, Bob. Optimus Primicius. No. Nick Butler. I'm hoping it was called Whiteys, as in Titan Whiteys. Sounds like Latin. Schmatin. Don't think anyone's going to get this one. This might be a wash, this one. Yes, very good, Team Inept. Child. Incontinentia. Andy McLeish says, nope, don't think they're going to get it. Okay, I think this one's a bit of a wash. So we'll call this one a fail. It was called Imperius Dictato. Imperius Dictato, as in Imperial Dictator. That was the name of the big-ass Titan. So there you go. Never mind. Well done for everybody for trying. Right, so no, you can't type the answer in now and then say it was just slow. Let's have a look. Let me have a look. Okay, here we go. This is another one from Andy McLeish, who has now got about 3 million stickers. I just go in the order in my inbox. So if you have certain questions in and I haven't asked them yet, don't panic. I'll get to them eventually. I just go through the order in my inbox. If you sent like multiple questions, I tend to ask like one and then move on to the next one just to give everybody a chance. So, but Andy sent some more in. More in, not more on. Either is applicable. Right, here we go. Last question for a sticker. Well, no, we'll do this is for the second sticker because nobody got that one. Bit easier, this one. Right. Question is, what is the acronym LASER an acronym for? Go. What is LASER an acronym of? I need to know each word. And the reason, this is why you can't type it with a Z. LASER does not have a Z. And there's a very good reason, because every letter in the word laser stands for something. What does it stand for? Googling, Googling, Googling now. Copy and paste, Rinks. Copy and paste. And Aviad is straight in with light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. And there you go. That's the word stimulated. That means that you can't put a Z in laser, you heathens. People that put Z in laser, I want to just, take them outside and lock the door behind them and not let them back in again. Oh, yeah. Ladies and squirrels eat rabbits, says Gross Models. Yes, very good. Flashlight gun, says Ghost Lyle. So, yeah, yes, Aviad, well done. I know I've already know your name and address, but send me your name and address again anyway. Again, send me an email. Model Making Guru. No, it's not. Where's my camera's moved? Foxx at modelmakingguru.com, address there, with your name, address, and that you want a sticker. And we'll do one more. One more. One more. We got a question from Gerwin. Right, here we go. It's a Warhammer question for the last sticker. Now, there's no... okay, I'm gonna word this in such a way that you're going to ask for a certain thing. I'm going to reword the question a little bit because it's a very open-ended. I need to give a specific thing. So, give me, in Warhammer, give me a viable bioweapon that would allow you to hijack a Tyranid ship. Go. I need the name of a viable bioweapon that would allow you to hijack a Tyranid ship. It's only one I'm looking for. There's one weapon that is a weapon that you can use. So, give me... one weapon that you can use to hijack a Tyranid ship. My fart, says Paul at Team Inept. Yeah, Jamie Bone says farts as well. Go and give me a weapon that you can use. So I need this weapon. It is a bio weapon that you can use. Dave says, I win, she who farts in bed. Yeah, that'll get you in. Blight probe. I like the word probe. Bio spiders. That just sounds horrible. Bio spiders. This might be one that people don't get, I think. It's a viable bioweapon. I'll read out the original question. It was, can you hijack a Tyranid ship? Yes, provided you have a viable bioweapon such as the... I need you to tell me what the is. Nobody's going to get this, are they? Holy hand grenade of Antioch, says Nick Butler. Orcs, says Nimson. I didn't know this, but did you know orcs are actually fungus? They're actually fungi. They're not dudes. They're a fungus. They're made of this. Moving on. Right, nobody's going to get this one, are they? So we'll put a spork, says Spid. We'll put a line under this one. It's another dud. The answer was, well, the answer I was looking for was oh, hang on, no. Andy McLeish says obliterator virus. Just in time. Just in time. Yes, you can hijack a Tyranid ship with a viable bioweapon such as the obliterator virus. So there you go. Not that Andy McLeish hasn't already got like 300 stickers on his way to him anyway. Andy, send me an email with your name and address and just say that you've won another sticker, and I'll just pile them all up. It may well be that when you've won lots and lots of stickers, you guys, I may end up sending you a few too few or a few too few or a few too many, because I'll lose track of how many you're supposed to have. So it's the problem when you end up leaving them for 3 or 4 weeks. So yes, send me your name and address, and well done to everybody who won the stickers. Well done. Now, here's the bit you've all been waiting for. Let's just get to the chase, shall we? Let's just cut the crap and get to the chase. You all want to know who won the AMX 30B2, don't you? 1/35th scale, and it's got 16 trillion parts for tracks. 16 trillion parts. I mean, literally, 16 trillion parts. Look, there's 5 sprues. 5 damn sprues of tracks. So, we need to find out who's won this. So I'm just going to make sure I've got everything set up here, because I wouldn't be surprised if it all fell over on its arse like everything else I've done so far today. There we go. Right, so before we go ahead, remember, you had to put an answer on last week's video. So before we go ahead and do this, make sure you've put your answer down. You've got about 20 seconds now to go and put an answer on last week's video for the show. So while I'm setting everything up, you go and do that. Be quick though, because I'm going to refresh the page in a moment. So what we need to do now, because we're not going to have a giveaway, I'll start again, because we're not going to have the wheel of giveaways. I'll play the music anyway, because I feel compelled to play the music. Where is it? Yeah, now we have to do this because I forgot to link that up. There we go. There's last week's show. So, let's get this going. So before we go anywhere, I'm going to refresh this page so it's up to date because it's about 2 hours old.
Rod Stewart returns with the album you've been waiting for.
Well, at the bottom of the chat window. Oh, Rod Stewart. He's about 1,000 years old. Ew. Right, so, yes, I have to turn adverts and thingy off when I do the stream, so you have to get the adverts. Aculius says, I never win anything. Team Inept says, yay, Rod Stewart's back. Oh, I don't want to see any part of Rod Stewart. Right, so here is last week's stream. And I think I asked you to give me a fact, true or otherwise, potentially factual, or potentially not factual, about France. And not surprisingly, because it's such a kick-ass prize, I got quite a lot of responses. So, we have lots. Let's just have a quick look at some of them. French singer Mylene Farmer is not actually a French farmer. She's a singer from France. This is Stefan Last. Redland8 says, juste un commentaire en français sur la France. Yes, I can speak French. JS Idaho says, wow, can't believe I won. Thanks, Fox. The Taurox and Rangers are looking great. Brilliant. That's not a comment about France, but it's fine. Jamie Bones says, baguettes are long. Scale Model Vamp says, France became a republic in 1792 as a result of the French revolting against centuries of royal rule. The revolution started with the storming of the Bastille fortress on the 14th of July 1789 and an event celebrated every year all over France known as Bastille Day. Indeed it did. And last one, Tim Kirchner says, in 6 weeks from the 10th of May 1940, German forces defeated Allied forces by mobile operations and conquered France, Belgium, Luxembourg and the Netherlands, bringing land operations on the Western Front to an end till 6th of June 1944. France is in there tangentially. Now, enough nonsense. There's many other facts in there. We need to draw a winner. So we're going to take the URL from that and we are going to put it in the YouTube random comment picker that picks a random YouTube comment randomly from YouTube. I'm going to load the comments. We have 65 comments. I think I actually got more comments on this than I did for the C1 Metalizer, which was a surprise kick-ass prize. Are we ready? Because this is going to be a doozy, this one. It's going to cost me a fortune to ship it. So I hope you're in the UK. Let's find out who wins. So ready? Everybody clench. 3, a 2, a 1. William Wilms says, knowing the French language with the French accent is the perfect way to get an American woman in bed. Second only to knowing Cockney. Kick ass. So William Wilms, well done. I don't know if you're in chat, but well done. You have won yourself the AMX 30B2. I shall just come back to the normal thing. Let me play the music. I can't really do it because I've got to go across here and do that, and it just ruins the effect. There you go. See, it just doesn't work, does it? But well done, Will. Ow, I stabbed myself. Oh, with the stabbing. Well done, William Wilms. You have won this loveliness. What you need to do is you need to send me an email to fox@modelmakingguru.com. It's there. Fox@modelmakingguru.com with your name, your address, your phone number, just in case, because it might be a big box, your phone number for the courier, and that you've won the AMX 30B2, and we'll get this off to you. Now, like I always say, I don't send prizes out the next day or anything like that. Basically, I wait till the end of the month when I've had my payday, my Patreon payday, so I can afford to send all the prizes out. So this should be off to you in the next week or two, basically, and I'm going to send all the other stuff that's waiting to go out. We've got the BA Hawk, we've got the Mark II Gundam, we've got the Carrion Throne book, and lots of stickers to go out. They're going to go out in the next week or two. I say get my car fixed and everything else. We'll see what Mum and is doing. They're all going to go out to you. So anybody that's waiting for prizes, don't panic. You've not been forgotten. They're all just waiting to go out. Now, like I said at the start, if you missed at the start, because of my car having to be repaired and all the money being spent on that and my tax and insurance and everything else all being at the same time and appearing out of nowhere, well, not appearing out of nowhere, but appearing at the same time, we're going to lay off the Wheel of Giveaways just for a few weeks, just so I can let my finances recover, because it does actually cost me a lot of money to get all these prizes sent out to you guys. Just doing 3 or 4 of these a month can be anywhere between up to 50 to 100 quid for 3 or 4 prizes each month. So it does cost me quite a bit of money. So I'm going to lay off the Wheel of Giveaways just for a few weeks, just to let my finances get back to in the black. And then we'll crack on with them again. So just for the next few weeks, we won't be doing a giveaway, but we'll still be doing stickers and stuff like that. So William, well done. You've won yourself this absolute beast of a kit. Drop me an email, fox@modelmakingguru.com. Address is there, and we'll get that sorted out. Ah, lovely, lovely. Right, so that's that done. That's the stickers done. We've got these guys painted up. There we go. They're looking rather fabulous. Stay on that. That's fantastic. I'll move the camera in a bit more now. And I think what we'll do now is I will swig my coffee and we'll just kind of hang out for 10 to 15 minutes, because we've got about 20 minutes left. We'll just hang out for a little bit, because I've not spoken to you guys properly. I've just been doing the painting and the talking. So I'm going to move the camera in. There we go. I'm getting it focused in for you. Where's my focus? There it is. Wibbly wobbly camera. It's kind of in focus. They're all kind of spread out a bit, really, because it doesn't really work, does it? The camera, it's a bit... Yeah, it's quite a tight focus on this camera, so I can't get a wide... It's not got a wide angle on it. But there we go. So all the little dudes are done. So I'm really pleased. Oh, if you're wondering, by the way, this is shiny, shiny sword. Shiny, shiny sword that's not actually in focus. I'll get it in focus for you. I know it's supposed to be a power sword, but I can't make a sword and not make it shiny shiny. That is quite simply painted with lead belcher, given a wash of Nuln oil. I then gave it a coat of the metal colour 77704 pale burnt metal, and then I applied, you guessed it, some C1 metallizer to the blade. It's not been gloss varnished, and I guarantee you over the time, that being played in games, that C1 metallizer will eventually rub off. But I'm not going to be grabbing him by the sword, so it should last a while. Right, let's see what chat's doing before we call it a day for today. Let's have a look. Nick Butler says, 2 goldfish in a tank. One turns to the other one and says, do you know how to drive this thing? There's a great meme, and it's a photograph of a killer whale sat on top of a tank. And it says, I don't belong in a tank. And then the picture underneath is the same thing, saying, actually, just joking, I look great in this thing. Do the small models. Give all the prizes at once, just postage charge them. Yeah, I do all. That's the problem. I do them all at once. It's still doing them all at once. That's the prize. That's the cost, I mean. Oh, somebody's off. Ghost Lyle. Goodbye, humans. Thanks for coming in, Ghost Lyle. Catch you next time. Pineapple and all that. Andy McLeish says, hey Fox, the sticker I won, can you give to someone else? I'm just happy to get stickers for sending questions. I can do, but we've done all that now. Fist of wiggling. Tell you what then, Andy McLeish, don't send me an email to claim that sticker. I'll do a quick question now then. I'll do a quick question. Somebody else can win that 3rd sticker. Do you know? If you don't want the sticker, don't answer the question. Right, okay. I'm going to write a number on my hand. First one to get it right gets that sticker. It is a number between 33 and 43. Go. Between 33 and 43. Go. Who wants a sticker? Between 33 and 43. My chat wasn't scrolling. We have a winner. The winner is Red Len with 36, which is on my hand there. 36. Red Len, well done. Send me an email. Where's the camera? Fox@modelmakingguru.com. Email, just say, I want a sticker. Thank you very much. Give your name and address, and I'll send that sticker out to you. So there you go. I did it for funsies, says Andy McLeish. Yeah, but then I have to do that. So if you don't want it, don't answer. Right, so everybody answered that. What's the chat doing? Nick Butler says, I wanted to thank you for the advice on the Morpheus transfers. Morpheus transfers. Morpheus. Do you mean Mobius? Mobius? Like the Colonial Viper and stuff? The Mobius kits, the ones that have really, really bad transfers. I've forgotten now. I've blinked since then. Any advice is happily given. Paul Di Tommaso Nature Calls. See you later. Thanks for coming in, Paul. Thanks for unlocking my joke, says Redlen. Did I? I didn't mean to. I missed it. Oh. Nick Butler. Can't share the answer to my mem mashup Viper on here. I don't know what that means. Mem mashup Viper. Yes, if only admins, only me and mods can post links and images. You can't post links in chat. It's to avoid spam and stuff like that. Redlen, put it with the one I won last week. Send me another email anyway, because if you don't, I'll just send you one sticker, because I'll just have one email from you. I use my inbox as a list of things to do. So if I've got 3 emails from somebody saying I've won a sticker, I know to send them 3 stickers. So send me another one anyway, dude, just so I know to send you both, because otherwise I'll forget. Or just send me a mail saying, hey, you owe me 2 stickers, and delete the original. Tell me to delete the original mail if you want, and I can do it that way. Yep, I'm a git, says Andy McLeish. Yes. Let me drop the link in your comments so you can have a Google, says Nick. I can't. It's set to only allow admins and mods. I can't go in and change that right now. Anyone know how to paint black leather with the blue sheen? Yes, says Aculeus. One way you can do it is to either. Well, the way I used to draw leather when I was doing comment, what do I move these for? What do I move them for? The way I used to draw leather, was to paint it the bright blue first. So go for a nice, deep, dark, bright blue. Something like that kind of colour, but not, that's a glaze, obviously. But something that's that kind of blue colour. So a really nice, bright blue, like, you know, McCrag blue or something like that. Something nice and vibrant. And then go in and paint the black over the top. And then just have the blue showing where you want, like on a comic book, the shine to be. If you're doing it as faded blends, then add the black with Nuln Oil. Use something like Nuln Oil rather than actual paint. So it will collect around the recesses. It'll collect in the recesses and around some of the edges, and you can control where it goes. In some areas it'll be thinner, some it'll be thicker, and it'll fade from blue to black. That's how I do things like that. I actually use Nuln Oil quite a lot. If I want to do like a rubbery dark grey, I won't paint it grey. I'll paint it, say, a light grey colour, and then I'll Nuln Oil it. So I've got the fade between the Nuln Oil and the colour underneath on the highlights. And you have to do 2 or 3 coats. But obviously, say it's a belt, like something like that shape, and you've got the belt on the side of an outfit, you can put more Nuln Oil in the corners or on the edges at one end or the other end, or however you want to do it, so it fades from one to the other, and you can do multiple coats. So try a bright blue colour as a base, and then some Nuln Oil to black it up, and just keep adding until it gets to the colour you want. There's other ways to do it. If you want to go for a cell-shaded look, you can just paint the black on. But that's how I used to do it with watercolours and inks when I used to do comics. Andy McLeish says, suburban middle class nonsense. Yes, I thought you'd like that. Suburban middle class nonsense. There's always someone, whenever I try and do a recording, there's always somebody outside, right, mowing the lawn. And it's like, there's only so many houses on my street, and every single day, pretty much, somebody is mowing a lawn. It's like, it's October now. How many lawns have you got? How much mowing do you need to do? How often do you need to mow your lawn? It's like, do it once a month, once a year. I don't care. Just do it every goddamn day. Oh, middle class nonsense. Oh. The only sticker now I need now, no. I'll start that again. The only sticker I need now, says Jamie Bone, is a gross model sticker. Chris, sort it out. Send Chris an email. I'm sure he'll sort you out for something. I do have some, but I'm backlogged on sending stickers out, so I don't know how many I've got left. I might not have any left actually to give out. Time for some cutting remarks about lawns then, says Nick Butler. You're banned. How about mixing dark blue and black to get an ultra black colour, then add soft layers of blue into the black? Wait, what? You broke my brain. Yes, you could. Wait, what? How about adding dark blue and black to get an ultra black colour? There's only black or black. You mean an ultra dark blue? And add soft layers of blue into the black. You could put blue over black. The difficulty with putting blue over the black, this is going back to doing the blue leather. The difficulty of painting anything over black is that it's really hard to see it because it's such a dark base. You could do it, it would work, but it would colour the blue a bit. The blue wouldn't look quite as vibrant. If you do say I should add to the advice I gave before. When you do your bright blue colour first, do it over a white base. So a white base colour, then your bright blue to make it bright and vibrant, and then the black on top. If you do black first and then your blue, the blue's going over black. It's not going to look quite as vibrant and pop as much when it's visible, because it's over a black base. Always best to do it over a light colour first, just to make it a bit more poppy, if you want it to be poppy. Leather, Fox, leather, says Andy McLeish. What? No? Chris says, I have a live stream in a couple of hours, you never know. So yes, Chris at Gross Models is doing a live stream at a time tonight for some reason or other. I've actually forgotten, Chris, so just feel free to put it in chat. He's doing a live stream. I think he might be doing... I've forgotten what you're doing. What are you doing? Why are you doing a live stream? Where am I? Who am I? What day is it? Who are these crazy people? Yes, you can pimp it in chat. Wow, I really can't talk. Jamie Bone, Chris is doing a live stream later on, so make sure to go and watch that. I'm sure you can win a sticker if you do a thing and he lets you win. Yeah, Chris, I've forgotten all the details, so just put it in chat, dude. 8 PM on his channel, but I can't remember what we're doing, giving away. Dad from Mike Mountain. Dad says, subtle plug there, Chris. Haha, lol. Hey, Dad, don't worry about it. Because in my, I'm doing a video series for the Warhammer stuff. I show the paint palette. Look at that. I show my wet palette and just happens to have that on there, so you get a free plug. You just got a free plug there as well. God damn it, you got 2 free plugs now. Wow. I just voluntarily give you an extra plug. Wow. So yes, Chris is doing a live stream tonight, 8 PM on his channel, doing some nonsense of some sort. I don't know what he's doing. Chris, what are you doing? I thought you were making them R2-D2s, but you've made them, so it's not that. Or are you? I don't know. Anna McLeish, I was informed by a person, that if you mix dark blue with black, you get more depth to the black, which helps break up black colours. If you're doing a full black model, that might do. It's worth a try. I mean, the difficulty is that once you've got black, you can't really make it any darker. You can't make it darker than black. You can lighten it. It will lighten it a little bit if you add blue to it. A little tiny bit. It would take a lot of blue to make black a dark blue, but it would lighten it and give it a bit more... I could see, yeah, it will give it a bit more vibrancy. It will be not just a flat black, it will be a bluey black. So it might be easier to get the dark blue first and add black to that, to where you want it, because you'll take a lot more blue. There's no way to explain this. You'll have to add a lot more blue to black to make it a blue black than you would have to add black to blue to make it a blue black, if that makes sense. It's easier to go from light to dark than dark to light. Chris has put a link in the chat. I guess that's a link to his live stream. Yay. That's great, Chris, apart from people who can't see chat or aren't in chat. So put it in words so they can see what you're actually doing. Andy McLeish says, let's see, I have stickers from Mike Mountain, Dad, Team Inept, yes, Model Making Guru, and e-models from one from Monday. Let's see, what sticker do I not have? Oh, a Skipper Ted one. Now, you never know. You never know. It'll be a Metal Earth kit of some description. Okay, so Chris is doing another Metal Earth jobby. Oh yeah, he's playing with Metal Earth again. Yes, I might come and join in. Depends, I'll be having my tea then, so I might be making the dinner by that point. Just like Spinal Tap's album, none more black. 8 PM tonight, that's in 2 hours and 15 minutes. How is Skipper Ted anyway, says Andy McLeish. Skipper Ted he's doing alright. He's still recovering. For those of you who don't know, Ted is my very great friend, very dear friend. Chris, Ted and I do the e-models live stream. He did unfortunately suffer a stroke a few weeks back, a couple of months ago. He's still recovering. He's up and about. He's obviously fine. He's gone back to work a little bit. He's doing all right. He was able to do a whole show on Monday on the e-model stream. He was able to get through all that. He's still a little bit sleepy sometimes. He can't be doing lots and lots of things. He gets a bit tired. His memory's a bit lumpy here and there. But he's all right. He's recovering nicely, and he's always saying thank you, asking me to thank people who ask how he's doing. So he's always grateful for the support that people have shown him. So, you know, thanks to everyone who sent him good wishes and things like that. He's doing all right. I'll most likely be doing my shop for food, says Andy McLeish. Wow, you guys are 5 hours ahead of me here in Canada. Andy McLeish. If Mike Mountain is dad, does that make Ted granddad? Ted's just, I don't know, maybe. Ted's just Skipper. Mike Mountain is everybody's dad. Actually, I don't know who's older, Mike Mountain or Dad. I don't know who's older out of Ted and Mike Mountain. I don't know who's the oldest. Who's the senior? I won't ask you to say Mike. A gentleman never asks a lady his age. Her age. Ted's younger than me, he says. Oh, okay. I think that just makes Ted our Ted. He's our Ted. He's our Ted. Right, so, yes, well, that's these guys done. These guys are finished now. I shall put them in my Crusading case. I've got a Crusader case with all my painted dudes in. I don't know how I'm going to transport Imperial Knights when I've got them done. God knows, I'm going to buy a whole case just for Imperial Knights. So that's these guys done. They will go and live in my Crusader case until I eventually get a codex and put them on the table. Next, when these are done, I've still got my Taurox to do. Taurox. Squish. Out of the way, metal boys. I've still got my Taurox to do. It's just primed. So we'll maybe make a start on that. What I might do, I don't know yet. See, I did say that all this is going to be brush painting. I'm not going to go airbrushing or anything like that because I'm lazy and I hate airbrushing now. Now I've learned how to brush paint, I really hate airbrushing. It's tedious and a pain in the bum. But I think what I might do, because there's so many surfaces on here, it's lumpy, bumpy bits and... Oh, I need to glue that on at some point. I panicked then. I thought it had broken off, but it's not. There's so many edges and surfaces and bits and lumps. It's going to be a ball ache to paint that by brush. Let's just be honest. So what I might do is actually preemptively airbrush their base colours on here. Just maybe. Now the difficulty is I don't know what colours I'm doing my Tempestus Scions yet. My Militarum Tempestus. I'm thinking there might be reds. Red-based colours, because what I'm going to maybe do is when I do my Imperial Knights, I'll have 3 knights. I've got my Imperial Knight, which is the bog standard one. I will doing, wow, sensor structure. I've done an Imperial Knight. That one's green because it's like a Zaku. I'll be doing one to be like a what do you call it, goof. And that'll be emblazoned with the logo of Rambaral all over it. Because remember, I'm doing a Principality of Zeon themed army. So there'll be a blue goof. And then there will be a red Char's Zaku. That will be a knight as well. So one of them will be like a Char's Zaku. And what I might do is make my Tempestus Scions align with Char's Zaku. So they'll be in red. And they'll be all red and gold and blingy. Because Char's Zaku will be nice and neat and shiny. The goof will be a bit weathered. And the Zaku is just knackered. So it'll be nice and red. So I think my Tempestus Scions will be red, which means I can paint these guys. But I don't know what colour to make the vehicles. I'm not sure what colour to make any of the vehicles. I've got this, which will be with the Scions. I've also got a Lehman Russ, which will be with my Imperial Guard dudes. Then I've also got a Valkyrie, which will be Imperial Guard. And I've also got a Hydra. Is it a Hydra? The anti-aircraft thing? I've got one of them as well. I'm not sure what colour schemes to use on them yet, because they'll be sort of aligned with the Imperial Guard. I've got like normal, Imperial Guard dudes. I don't know what colours to do them yet. And I don't know whether to paint this one differently to everything else. If it's just purely painted to line up with the Scions, it can be whatever colour I want. If I want it to line up with the Astra Militarum, then I'll need to do a uniform colour scheme, and I'm debating whether to do blues perhaps. I don't know yet. Maybe I'm thinking maybe interesting blue colours or greys. I may just go for a sort of maybe a kind of World War II German style greys, that kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something like that. Little head poking out. Hello, I'm going to shoot you now. Pew, pew, pew. You are dead. You are dead with my shooting. Hello. So I don't know yet. I don't know what colours, but we'll have a think. So I might start this next week. I don't know. I might just have to not start this if I haven't figured out the colours. I do have lots of other things to paint. I've got like my Astra Militarum dudes and all the other things to paint. So we will see. Or I might start making my Lehman Russ, I don't know, one of the vehicles. Might start making one of those. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I'm waffling now like an idiot, like a loon. Let me have a quick look and see what the chat is doing before we call it a day. Ted, says Mike Mountain. Andy McLeish, he's our super Ted. I like that. Andy McLeish says, "Oh, that Taurox looks angry." I made a little knapsack on the front out of Bog roll. That's made of bog roll and plastic card. Yes. Dad says, since doing my Warhammers, I haven't touched the airbrush. I know. Once you get the knack of brush painting and doing like little shades and fades, I really don't want to get the airbrush out. I really don't. I mean, I got to get the airbrush out to matte varnish these guys. And let me tell you, if you've been looking for an airbrush matte varnish, this ammo stuff, the Lucky varnishes, I've used the ultra matte. These are done with the matte varnish, not the ultra matte. That's the matte one. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's absolutely every matte varnish I've ever tried has been ass. These ones, 17 psi. You don't need to thin it. Blap it through a 0.35 airbrush, no problem. Misty coats all the way, done. I love it. So yeah, I got it out to matte varnish those. But other than that, I want to get the airbrush out. I've got to get it out this week because I've got to get back on with the Strike Rouge, so I've got to do that. Mike Mountain says, I fancy doing the Torox thing. Ha ha ha, you're getting hooked in now, aren't you? Do be aware though, Dad, I did add a few bits. Oops. These guns on the side don't come with the kit. And I made that roll on the front, and that bit doesn't. That box and those straps and that bit on the back doesn't come with the kit. They're just added bits. But it's still a mint vehicle. And I had to buy the wheels separate. It's a resin add-on kit. It comes with tracks. You know the thing. Kenneth, we've had that conversation. I airbrush the base coat on the Conquest models. It seemed the right thing to do, said Zadster. You can do. You can airbrush them for speed. But I mean, figures I'm going to do brush painting. But yeah, I might airbrush that just to get the base colours on. What we doing now? With wheels, lol, says Mike. Oh, yeah, he already answered that. Kenneth wouldn't forgive you, Dad, if you did that. Give the Torox giant off-road wheels. There you go. Get wheels twice as big. Just get a massive one like that. Misty coats. Her inhuman powers colour the minds of criminals. I like that. Misty coats, the unseen Netflix Marvel show. Yeah. Right, well, I think that's going to do us, folks. So, yeah, it's coming up to 6 o'clock, 10 to 6. Thank you so much for watching. I say I'm not sure what we'll do next week. We'll do something. Again, apologies we're not doing the Wheel of Giveaways. It's going to be a few weeks before we get back to that. I need to get my finances back up to scratch so I can afford to send everything out. I will get all the prizes sent out. Don't panic. I know there's a few of them still waiting to go out. We're a bit behind on sending prizes out. It's just because I wait to the end of the month. And then I didn't expect my car to require tax and everything else. So that's going to happen. Don't worry. In the next week or two, all those prizes in the backlog go out. And then in a few weeks' time, we'll get back into doing the Wheel of Giveaways. Because I like giving you stuff. I like giving stuff away to you guys. A lot of you have sent stuff for me to give away. And I love that. So I will miss not giving stuff away to you guys. So we'll get back to that as quick as we can. But it just remains for me to say thank you so much for watching, as always. This one will be here next week, next Sunday. I have already uploaded part 1 of the Warhammer Conquest series, and part 2 is just like another quick introductory guide. I'm probably going to make the first 2 parts open to everybody straight away. I'm not going to make them early access on Patreon for a week first. I'm just going to bop them up and do, and everybody can watch the first 2. And then from part 1, which is the actual building and painting one, we'll do the usual up in early access for a week before everybody else can see them. So I'll probably put those up later on today or tomorrow. And they'll just be a quick look at what we're going to do. They're just a quick introduction. I've done a little title sequence. It might get them. The title sequence might get them pulled. It might get a copyright strike. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. Anyway, I'm waffling now. So it just reminds for me to stop moving the camera around because I've got my hand on my desk. Remains for me to say thank you so much for watching. Do take care of yourself. Remember, if you've won anything tonight, send me an email, fox@modelmakingguru.com. And we shall see you all next week. So until next week, go make something awesome. Go be awesome. Adios, amoebas.